Please tell me this works. Yay! Yay! All right, we are live 100% with Scoop and Brandon. Scoop is not at a booth, contrary to belief in Las Vegas, Nevada. He's just at his hotel room, even though it looks like you're about to eat a... what is that thing they have at Applebee's that everyone's talking about? The
Five for Friday or something?
No. It's the grilled cheeseburger.
Oh, I've had that.
You told me it's good, right?
It's fantastic.
Oh my god! Well, all right. I have to try it. I have to try this grilled cheeseburger. And with that said, of course, we got Brandon, we got Scoop, we got myself. We got a lot of rants today to get to. The Chiefs not making it in, or pretty much not making it in. Of course, we're doing the in and out game again per Scoop's request because he wants to log it and see how it changes over the last few weeks.
I assume
it won't change much.
This will probably be the last time we do it.
Possibly the last.
Before time, or at least like the last time we'll do it. Like this is the penultimate one because the last time
I
we
think
do it will probably be when the season actually officially ends, like the regular season.
Yeah. Before we do that, all the bowl games came out. I have a beef with the bowl games right now because they just finished the bowl games at like 6 p.m. Pacific time. Why did it take you all fucking day to pick teams to play in bowl games?
They were still picking? I'll be honest. I checked out mentally on all that once they decided who was going to be in the CFP.
Dude, because Notre Dame backed out and a bunch of other teams backed out. I'll talk about Notre Dame backing out because I'm not happy about it either. Took them longer.
I've got stuff to say about Notre Dame too.
It took them fucking forever. And then I just saw what the first bowl game is on Saturday, and it made me blow a fucking gasket. So we're gonna talk about all these bowl games really quick, just the names of it, as we did last year. How stupid are these bowl game names? 10 being the most stupid and 1 being okay. The first one is the Cricket Celebration Bowl by Cricket Mobile.
That's not terrible, though.
You'll think it's terrible once you hear the names of the teams that are playing. It's South Carolina State versus Prairie View A&M.
Okay, that makes it a 10.
See, I'm not going to give it a 10. I don't like giving 10s right with the first option I get because I feel like it can only get worse. So let's start with a 7.
The funny part about this is I thought the point of Navy versus Army was for that just to be the only game on the day. But there's one bowl game in the morning beforehand and one bowl game after this year for some stupid-ass reason.
That's low-key disrespectful.
It's actually awful.
Very disrespectful.
It's so bad. How about the Bucked Up Gronk LA Bowl?
Yeah.
Wait, you kind of glitched over the beginning of that. Can you please repeat the name?
Yeah, it's called the Bucked Up Gronk LA Bowl.
I'm going to go 5 just because anything that has to do with Gronk is already going to be insane just off the...
Yeah. By the way, Bucked Up is an actual company name.
Yeah, I know.
I have no idea what.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah, you know what? I mean, what are the teams playing in that?
Boise State and Washington.
Oh, that's the game we're talking about. Okay, then that's where I give it a 9 because the two teams kind of redeemed the name a little bit.
The thing that bothers me about the next one is that to me it always looks like ISIS. Like it literally does. I don't understand. I don't understand why a company name has to look so similar to the word ISIS. It literally annoys me every year.
Wait, hang on. Okay, so what's the name of it?
It's called IS4S Salute to Veterans Bowl.
Oh boy, they didn't think that one through, did they? And the worst part is it's a salute to veterans.
Salute to veterans.
Oh man, that is tone deaf. Oh, yeah, that's honestly that's above a 10 because of how disrespectful that is.
Yeah,
it literally looks like ISIS. I swear to God.
So bad though.
That's a strong. That is a 10 for me.
That's really bad. Yeah. That's really
It's Troy versus Jacksonville State. Does that help any?
No.
Nothing could have helped that.
Who like you're looking at that? How do you not think that through? This phrasing of this looks bad.
How did the company not think that through?
Do you know how many eyes it has to pass through before that gets approved?
Apparently not good ones.
By the way, this bowl game's been in session for a good chunk of years. I think this is
I don't remember being
maybe
called
the
that
sixth.
though.
Yes, it has been called that. Here's one of my all-time favorites: the Staff DNA Cure Bowl.
What
What the
ever
hell
living
is
hell is
that?
that?
What is?
The Staff DNA Cure Bowl.
I mean, it's short enough. It's
What does
short
that
enough.
company even do?
I have no idea. Do you want to search it up?
Yeah. Give me
It's
a second.
called
'cause
Staff DNA, but with no spaces.
Staff DNA
I mean-
Cure Bowl.
I mean, just because it's a short enough name, and we just don't know what it is, I'll give it a 5.
What the
It's
hell does
been.
Staff DNA do?
I found it. It's been, or rather, it's a healthcare employment website.
What?
which makes sense as to like what it's named. That's just wild to me that they sponsor a bowl game.
It gets worse. The matchup is Old Dominion versus South Florida.
Okay, that pushes it to a 6. Well, I was at a 5. That makes it a 6.
Okay. Are you guys ready for the
I'll put it
next
at a
one?
3. It's not. I don't consider it stupid. It's just odd. But I'll put it at a 3.
All right, are we ready for the next one?
Yep.
I don't even know, but go ahead.
The 68 Ventures Bowl.
Please repeat that.
The 68 Ventures Bowl.
68 Ventures.
Yes.
That's not bad. I'll give that one. That one's a 3. It's simple.
Again, I don't know what 68 Ventures even is.
I
But-
don't know.
Nobody does. Nobody does.
But yeah, I'll also go with. Oh, hang on a second. It says it right here. Daphne-based 68 Ventures, which is a real estate investment company.
Oh,
So-
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so I'll just go 3. Not stupid, just weird.
It's Louisiana versus Delaware.
That makes sense because that game's played in Mobile. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but it kind of
It
makes
does,
sense.
yeah. The Myrtle Beach Bowl.
That's fine. That's a 1.
Well, hang on. Let me say this. It's a 1 unless it's not played in Myrtle Beach.
It is played at Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
good.
Game starts at 8 a.m.
Otherwise, that shit's a 9.
Wait, what was your rating on 68 Ventures, Scoop? I think I might have missed it.
I might have even forgotten to say it, to be honest.
I
But
think
I'll
we
also
both gave it a 3. I think it was just
yeah,
weird.
yeah, that sounds right.
And it has Kennesaw State and Western Michigan. The Myrtle Beach Bowl.
Hmm.
Okay,
That's-
I don't even know how to say this next bowl game. I've never known how to say this. It's the Union Home Mortgage Gala Sparata Bowl. I don't even know how to say the name.
I'll look it up.
Me too.
Just search up Union Home Mortgage Bowl game.
Gasparilla.
Yeah, Gasparilla.
What the hell is a Gasparilla?
I'm almost certain that's a Spanish derivative.
I know it's usually a southern thing.
Yeah, okay, so it's... Oh, hang on. The game was renamed the Gasparilla Bowl in 2017 as a nod to the legend of Jose Gaspar, a mythical pirate who supposedly operated in the Tampa Bay area and who's the inspiration for Tampa's Gasparilla Pirate Festival.
What the hell?
I've heard about that. Yeah.
Well, actually, you know what? That gets a 1 from me because they're playing it at the Buccaneer Stadium. So
Yeah,
bet with Pirate,
it makes
it's actually kind of fire.
It's Memphis and NC State. Brandon, what are you giving it?
I'm only giving it a 2 because the name is a little too long. So
Yeah, that's fair.
We're obviously going to avoid all the CFB all the CFP games. You know, they're the big bowl games. We're going to avoid them. My favorite, the one bowl game I'm desperate to go to, just because I have friends who have family there and all this stuff. So I desperately want to go to this bowl game at one point. The famous Idaho Potato Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a 1. That's a classic bowl game. That's a 1.
That's a 1. I love potatoes.
You might not love the matchup, though. It's a future matchup in the new era of the Pac-12. Who cares, by the way, about the new era of the Pac-12? It's Washington State versus Utah State.
Ugh.
Oh, so it's perfect. So it's a matchup of potato teams.
Bush's Boca Raton Bowl.
Wait, Bush is like the canned food?
Yeah, like
Oh, yeah.
canned beans.
That's a 2.
Yeah, I'd put that as a 2 also. I can see people eating that stuff while they're watching the game.
Toledo versus Louisville is that one. Scoop, you should go to this bowl game because it's close enough to you, my friend. It's
Okay.
just called the New Orleans Bowl. That's it.
Fantastic. That's like a 0.5. That's not
Yeah,
even-
really. Yeah, what teams are playing in that?
Western Kentucky versus Southern Miss.
Okay, yeah, so I was interested in going to that game until you named the teams. But yeah, typically if it starts with a direction term, Western, Northern, or whatever,
Southern?
typically those
Those teams
typically
aren't good.
no, they're not.
So you have Western and Southern. So there you go.
If your team name it looks like it can be on a compass, we don't want to watch you.
Yeah, really. Like I wouldn't watch that. I wouldn't watch that game for free from my sofa.
The Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl.
0. It's got scooter and it's got coffee. I'm down.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yes.
it's perfect for Scoop. I mean, it's weird enough that I'll give it a 3.
We should send Scoop to this game. It's UNLV in Ohio. Not Ohio State, Ohio.
Why send me to that game? What does that have to do with me?
Because you like
Just
scooters
name.
and coffee.
Oh, that game is still there. Okay, my bad. I didn't realize that was the teams for that one.
Yeah, UNLV in Ohio. The next one is the only game on Christmas Eve, so I'm going to watch this anyway. The Sheraton Hawaii Bowl.
And I know what was that? That's Hawaii and California, isn't it?
It's Hawaii versus Cal. Why does Hawaii have a home playoff game? Or a home bowl game?
I mean, they played well enough. Didn't they finish like 8-4?
Yeah, 8-4, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm used to that one. That one's like
Yeah, that's the one like stupid bowl game I watch every year just because I'm bored on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Say the name of it again.
Sheraton Hawaii Bowl.
Yeah, 2. I mean, I don't think it's cool, but it's not weird to me.
Okay, here's the next one. It's just called it's just called the Game Above Sports Bowl.
Huh?
9.
Wait,
9.
game above sports?
Yeah, Game Above Sports Bowl.
Even though we are watching a sport being played.
Well, the company's called Game Above Sports.
Still 9.
It's weird. It's just it's not even just weird. It's just random. I'll give it an 8.
You might want to give it a 10 after you see the teams Central Michigan versus Northwestern.
Okay, yeah, I'll bring it to a 9. I'll bring it up to a 9.
Scoop, there's a Central in this one.
Yeah,
And North and West.
well, you said Northwestern. I thought you were going to get ready to say like Northwestern Nebraska or something. But Northwestern is a little
I
bit
should
different.
make that your CFB team. The Northwestern Nebraska Scooters.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness, yeah, and the 4 people who live there will be playing for us.
They're all rated 2 overall.
Oh my god.
All right, what
Yeah,
do you rate
our
the game?
special teams is just a bunch of tumbleweeds.
What do you rate the Game Above Sports Bowl, Scoop?
You gave it a 9, I think.
Yeah, I gave it a 9.
How about the Guaranteed Rate Bowl?
Oh, we're used to that one. That's a 2. It's still a little
Yeah,
weird.
that's like a 2 or a 3. Probably it probably would have been a 3, but it's a 2 because I'm pretty sure there's actually a stadium named after that.
Yeah.
Chicago White Sox, I think.
Yep. Yeah,
It's-
guaranteed
yeah.
rate field, I think it is.
Yeah.
Apparently on the pick'em for ESPN, it's just called the Rate Bowl, but I know it's called the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, unless they change the name. It's New Mexico versus Minnesota.
Okay, so actually, a close friend of mine from childhood is an alum of New Mexico.
That's good.
So I do watch some of their games.
The Serve Pro First Responders Bowl.
Okay, so until you said first responders, that was going to be a higher one, but because it's the first responders, I'll take it down a little bit.
Why do we need names in front of military grade bowl games?
That's why I'm giving it a 5. It should just be called the First Responders Bowl.
Yeah, that's about where I was at. I was going to put it at a 5.
It's Florida. It's FIU, so Florida International versus UTSA.
Wait, what the hell's UTSA? Oh, Texas San Antonio.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh my God! If you hated the First Responders Bowl, you're gonna hate this one. It's the Go Bowling Military Bowl.
5 again, because that honestly feels a little bit disrespectful. Like, why are you putting something so stupid in front of the military?
We have disrespected our first responders. We've disrespected our military. Like, only in America does capitalism prey on our military and first responders. This is insane.
You're gonna hate the matchup even more. It's Pittsburgh versus East Carolina.
Pittsburgh's not bad. East Carolina,
Pittsburgh's not bad. I just forgot East Carolina exists.
Ugh.
There's definitely somebody who's tried to put that on a map before. Who's tried to draw that on a map before.
Hey, it's the bowl game at Yankee Stadium. It's the
Pinstripe.
Bad Boy Motors Pinstripe Bowl.
Yep.
Okay, that's a fat 0.
And I may add, these are two teams that should have been in the CFP if we went by the preseason poll. It's Penn State versus Clemson.
Okay,
Yeah,
then
0.
yeah, that's a 1 for me.
So I honestly will probably end up watching this game.
Yeah.
And then we go to Boston for the Wasabi Fenway Bowl.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out what does wasabi have to do with the Red Sox or with Fenway rather.
I don't know. By the way, I think wasabi is an ice cream company or something. Like I think
I
it's
just
a
know it as a
company
spicy
name.
food.
No, I think it's a company name, but I could be wrong.
I'll put it as a 4. Yeah, it's not inherently bad. It's just weird.
Who's playing that game?
Yukon and Army.
Oh. What? We're putting really? We're gonna put Army there? Really?
Instead of hey, let's put them in a military appreciation bowl.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you guys both give that a 5 or?
Yeah,
I
just
think
because
I said a
it's
4.
weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our favorite bowl game that's even better than the national championship game, the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Woo!
Yes, -10. That's a -10. I love the Pop-Tarts Bowl. I absolutely love it.
I'll just put it as a 2. I don't have much against it. I also just don't like Pop-Tarts all that much.
Oh my
Dude,
god.
Pop-Tarts,
Blasphemy.
I'm this is gonna sound so bad, so forgive me. But that game always opens up with Pop-Tarts getting naked, and it's
That's
really
weird.
weird.
It's part of the allure of it.
They're like in wrapping paper, and they like go boo.
I hope they do it again with the pyrotechnics and everything. I really hope they do.
Dude,
I love that game.
here's my hot take. The Pop-Tarts Bowl should actually be the national championship every year. Like that would be amazing.
I mean, oh my god, I love it. If I can give it anything less than a 1, I would. It's so good. I love the pop. Who are the
you know
teams?
what?
I don't care. Actually, you know what? I don't care what the teams are. It's the Pop-Tart Bowl. I don't care what the teams
You know why I don't end up watching the Pop-Tart Bowl? Because there's always NFL on
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
middle of it, and like important NFL games. You're gonna like the matchup though. It's Georgia Tech versus BYU.
It's
It's not
actually
bad at all.
It's a good game.
It's a really good game.
Oh my god, that's now it's a -100. Forget -10. Now it's a -100. Pop Tarts, BYU, and Georgia Tech. Sign me up.
I will add that I think Tom Brenneman's doing this next game, which
Okay,
I don't know if that.
I was gonna say if you're telling me he's doing the Pop Tart Bowl, I have a problem.
No, he's not. The Pop Tart Bowl's on ABC. It's the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl.
He sponsored a bowl game.
Yeah, he sponsored this bowl game for 3 years.
Dude, he made an appearance. He made an appearance at the show I was at last night, and I loved that song. I've been playing it all day and driving my mom crazy.
Oh my god! I mean, Snoop Dogg is probably outside of Taylor Swift is probably the most genius person in music in terms of marketing. That guy does everything. He's in everything.
This is a -10 for me. I love the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. Stupid, but I love it.
What's the matchup?
It's Miami of Ohio versus Fresno State. So not amazing.
Right.
And again, Tom Brenneman's commentating it, so that might
sway
her.
Yeah, that's why I'll give it a 4. The name's weird, but the commentary, yeah, it's 4. That's a 4.
Oh my god, I was almost gonna call Scoop Snoop. I messed up. God damn it. All right, Scoop, tell me what your rating is.
Oh, I thought I already said 2.
Okay, I keep forgetting. I don't even know how to say this name. I think it's spelled Isieta. So Aslada? I don't even know. New Mexico Bowl.
Just because I can't pronounce it, it's a 10.
Oh, that's the Isleta Bowl.
Jesus.
The matchup is North Texas versus San Diego State, which is not terrible.
It's not terrible, but
it's Aztec football for that part. So for that part of the country, so for those reasons, I'll put it as a 3.
Yeah, I'm guessing. What does the name have something to do with that too?
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Okay, so then I'll knock it down to a 5. I'll cut it in half.
I don't understand taxes, and I don't understand why this bowl game exists in relation to taxes. It's the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl.
Yeah, but I'm used to that. That's a 1. That's a 1.
Slay your taxes and watch the Gator Bowl.
I'm used to that. That's a 1.
Yeah, I'll put it as a 2.
What makes it weird is it's Virginia versus Missouri.
Okay, it's still not terrible. That's not bad.
The Kinder Texas Bowl. Why is a German candy company sponsoring a bowl game?
I was gonna say Kinder as like in Kinder Bueno.
Yes.
Oh, those are fire.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, it's 2 things that kind of don't go together. It's a 5. It's right in the middle. Just because it's two things that don't go together, so I'm gonna give it a 5.
Scoop.
I'll give it a 4.
It's LSU versus Houston.
Okay, now I'll knock it down to a 4 because that's actually not a terrible matchup.
What the hell? The J-Lab Birmingham Bowl.
What the hell is J-Lab?
I have no fucking idea.
Is that what Jennifer Lopez calls her dog?
J-Lab, and they sponsor a bowl game, Scoop, in Birmingham, Alabama. It's Georgia Southern versus App State.
3.
Yeah, it's good enough, I think.
What are you giving it?
I mean, the name is so weird. Y'all give it a 3 just because it's weird. It's not long, but it's weird.
Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl.
And what are the teams?
Coastal Carolina versus Louisiana Tech.
That's not terrible. But the name is definitely weird. That's a 5.
Scoop.
Please repeat the name again.
It's the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl.
I'll put that as a 4 or a 5, somewhere in there, because I don't think it's a bad name. It's just much longer than it needs to be.
The Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl. Why is Liberty Mutual sponsoring a bowl game?
I'll put it as a 3, but it's going to go up to a 5 if the emu doesn't make an appearance.
We need the emu. It's Tennessee versus Illinois.
That's not a terrible game. Yeah, it's a 4. Just because I know that bowl game, but that bowl game's always been like the weird long name. So I'm like, I'll give it a 4.
The Velcro Alamo Bowl, which has USC and TCU, which isn't terrible.
2. I like the fact that there's a Texas team in it too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't-
for sure.
I'll say 3, and I'll say 2. I'll say 2.
Alabama used to play in this next bowl game, I think a few years past. The Relic West Bowl, or however you say this damn
I
name.
think I remember that. Yeah.
You know what? The matchup is really good. It's Iowa versus Vanderbilt.
Oh yeah, that's a 1.
Yeah,
Not
same.
bad.
The matchup's
Not
really
bad
good.
at all. One of our favorite bowl games, the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl.
Remind me.
And it's Arizona State versus your ACC champions Duke.
Should have played that game in Jerry's World.
Remind me. I recognize Tony the Tiger, but I don't remember why I recognize him.
He Frosted Flakes.
Thank you. I wanted to say Lucky
Because
Charms.
it,
for some reason.
used
Whoa.
to be called the Frosted Flakes Sun Bowl. Yeah, yeah, it should be played in Jerry's World because it's the Sun Devils, the Sun, and the Blue Devils.
Yes.
Battle of the Devils. What are we rating it as?
Battle of the Devils, and you should have Charlie Daniels play there.
Good one. 3. That's a 3.
Scoop?
Yeah, I'll go with a 3 also.
Yeah, I can't say the game's gonna be great. Sorry. Awful.
No, that was good.
Another one of our favorites, the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. The
That's
fact
so
that
weird that the cheese.
the fact
Wait,
that every time,
you said
Okay.
Cheez-Its Citrus Bowl?
yes,
9, because I don't ever want to hear cheese and citrus in the same.
Yeah, that's it's like
I was gonna say every time I watch this bowl, I want Cheez-Its mixed with orange juice.
Oh God.
I would not wish that flavor combination on my worst enemy.
Oh.
You're gonna like the matchup though. It's Michigan versus Texas.
That brings it down from a 9 to a 5 for me. The name sucks. The game's good, but the name sucks.
I'm keeping my rating because I thought this was just about how bad the names are, not the game itself, so I'm keeping it at a 9.
All right. The SRS distribution. Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't even say it. The SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl.
That's a 10. That's so dumb.
That's an 8 just because it just feels like someone went into ChatGPT and just said throw random words together.
Yeah.
It's Nebraska versus Utah.
Okay, no. Now it's up to a 9 because there's no Nevada teams there.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. We are disrespecting our military even more. The
Oh, God.
Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl.
No, that one. Oh my God. You know why I say a 1? Because A, not just because the name has become like a classic bowl game now, but B, the fight that there was on the field 2 or 3 years ago during that game is the greatest football fight I've ever seen, bar none.
Not Ohio State, Michigan with the flag?
Oh no. No, go back and watch the Lockheed Martin fight.
That was so funny. No.
It's Rice versus Texas State.
Oh, this was 4 years ago already. Oh yeah, it was Tulsa and Mississippi State. That fight was fantastic. I mean, it was a black eye for football, but in terms of a fight standpoint, in terms of the bloodthirst side of me, that was fantastic.
Scoop, what are you rating this bowl game?
You said Rice and who?
It's Rice and Texas State.
8, and I hope Texas State wins.
Yeah, another new member of the Pac-12. It's time to get in the zone with the AutoZone Liberty Bowl.
I'm used to that one. What are the teams though?
Navy and Cincinnati.
Okay, not the worst. I'll give that a 2. I'm used to that. I'm used to that bowl game. I'm used to hearing that name too. So
Yeah, same here. So I'll also put it as a 2.
Our favorite, the Duke Mayo Bowl.
yes.
It's Wake Forest versus Mississippi State.
Damn it. Missed the chance to put the conference champion Duke there.
They never have done that, I don't think. In the
No,
history of the
I know. It's just funny. I
just read the next one. I'm going to puke.
I love that the fact that the winner usually gets doused in mayo. So I'm going to say it's a 2.
I'm going to put it as a 3, largely because Duke should have been in that game.
Yes. Guys, the next one, it made me puke. Like, not literally puke, but it might as well have been. The Trust and Will Holiday Bowl. Why is Trust and... Why? Oh, you want to watch a bowl game? Let's promote... Hey, sign this before you die for a Holiday Bowl.
Or watch this bowl before you die. Enjoy your last 3 hours, because they're going to go by fast.
8.
Yeah, that's an 8. I'll give that an 8.
It's Arizona versus SMU.
Oh, Southern Methodist. A few years ago, I had them as my sleeper team in the NCAA tourney.
Ooh, and that is it. Because obviously
Thank God.
You know what I don't like? I don't like that the Peach Bowl is called the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. I don't need chicken and peaches.
That's not a terrible combination.
Do you remember the Beef O'Brady's Bowl?
Yes.
That was a good one. I wish I still had that one.
By the way, I have a question for you, Brandon. Why are you not playing at the Rose Bowl if you make it this year? Aren't you playing at the Orange Bowl?
Let me look at the bracket again. I believe so. I'll tell you right now. Okay, I don't remember. Oh my God, where is it? And the winner of that game goes to the winner of the first round. Well, yeah, because we're going to win the first round game. So we play Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl. Yeah,
it's really
weird. The week after.
Before we get into Alabama, because it's a good transition, I have a rant about ESPN and TNT. TNT got fucked. I'm sorry to swear, but TNT got fucked again, and it's even worse this year. Because they had a night game. So I thought, hey, you know what? It's a night game. Maybe they'll get a better game. No, they did not. In fact, they got a worse game, and it's because there's NFL on, including your guys' Eagles. It is so our first round game, or our first game, is obviously Scoop's Alabama going up against Oklahoma. I am very thankful that's the Friday game, by the way. That's such a great way to open it. With all the talk about Alabama that we're going to get to, it's a perfect way to open it. Then, Miami and Texas A&M opened the first game on Saturday. So that's the only open window without an NFL game. So that's pretty great to open the day. on ABC and ESPN. TNT then gets Tulane and Ole Miss during the Eagles game. Yay. And then, Brandon, your Oregon Ducks are at home against James Madison as the nightcap on TNT during Bears-Packers.
That's
so have fun.
It's gonna be deja vu all over again because obviously we just saw Bears-Packers today.
TNT got both of the group of 5 games.
Yeah.
In a primetime slot, guys.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Ugh.
You couldn't give them one good game?
I have to watch Oregon on TNT. Ugh. Ugh. No, thank you. I mean, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm gonna be disgusted.
I mean, it will still have all the ESPN branding and stuff. So, at least that helps.
I guess.
Minus the halftime report. Okay, so, Scoop, give me the reasons why you believe, I mean, I get you're a fan, but give me the reasons you believe Alabama should have made the CFP. And do you agree with the fact that they should have been a 9 seed instead of a 10? Because that's really where I think our problem kind of stems from.
Okay, so I'm going to give kind of a multifaceted answer. First off, I want to start off by saying that I said after losing to Georgia yesterday and the manner in which we lost more than anything, I said if they kept us out, I understood. So I want to make that I want to make that clear. Like I wasn't at the point anymore where I was saying, oh, there's no reason to leave us out. At that point, I could see about pretty close to as many reasons to keep us out as I could to put us in. So I do want to start with that. And going back to the thing I said in the beginning, it was less the fact that we lost to Georgia for once because we've been really the only team that's had Georgia's number the last 3 years. It was less that and more the fact that we just did not look in sync at all, especially offensively. You can't put up 7 points in that game. You just can't. Your defense giving up 28, I'm okay with because you're seeing them for the second time. Your defense has been pretty good all year. It's really the main reason why you got to the 10-3 record that you had, or the 10-2 before the game anyway. I do think that having played an extra game, I do think that there is some legitimacy to that argument. I don't think it should be the be-all, end-all, but I do think it is a legitimate thing to say where they had more opportunity to be exposed against, again, still a very good Georgia team, that you think you can make a very legitimate case that most teams that are in this CFP had a chance to lose that game if they had to play it as well, as a 13th game. So I do want to add that point as well. Mm-hmm. That being said, there's no excuse for Ty Simpson and the offense to not show up the way that they did. Additionally, the running game this year, between both the run blocking and the running itself, is not what you want to see in a team that is known for running the ball and playing defense. It's just not. And so that was unacceptable. That being said, as we all say this, right? It's what your holistic resume is. It's not, I know that yesterday's game is going to be the one that sticks out, very understandably so. But they had just come off of that win against Auburn. They had, the 2 losses that they had. They had the season opener against Florida State, which I know people look at and say, how bad it is. Season openers, you don't know. Nobody knows what any team is at that point. So yes, it matters. But I think people making so much of it out of the fact that they turned out to be 5-7 or whatever their record ended up being.
I believe it was 5-7. Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's being a little bit oversold. Again, not a good loss. I would argue that was the worst they've played all year, even though they didn't have a terrible scoring that week, putting up 17. And I would still argue that it was their worst game that they've played in all facets across the season. Certainly, I do think offensively, even though I think Simpson played worse in the game against South Carolina and the loss against Oklahoma. But again, when you play more games than most other teams, you're going to have more opportunities to be exposed. That being said, excuse me, that I don't think is justification because I think that there's arguments to keep them in. No, I don't think that the 9 seed was right. I do think they should have dropped a little bit.
They
I
should have
think
been the
that
10th seed. If they were the 10th
yeah,
seed, I probably would be more okay. But I'm
yeah,
not okay because you're at 9.
no, staying at 9 and basically indicating that you see nothing, like it doesn't matter at all or affect them at all that they lost this game.
Mhm.
It feeds too much to the narrative that this game didn't, like, you can't sell that the conference championships are important and then also say that losing one by 21 at home is not going to affect your ranking.
Yep.
And I hate saying this part because, again, obviously nobody wants to say this of the team that they're a fan of. I do agree with the fact that if this weren't Bama or a similarly typed school, I do agree with the fact that they probably got a treatment that a lot of other schools wouldn't have.
Oh,
And
absolutely. Yeah.
I hate that, but I get it. I just, when I talk about sports on shows, you got to call the spade the spade. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but again, the way that Bama goes about proving now that they deserve to be there is going and taking it to the Sooners and going and showing that specifically the facets that have been dragging them the last period of time, which has been mostly the running game, but then now also the ability of Ty Simpson to kind of really be showing himself as more of a gamer. I hate using that term because I think it can be a little bit cliche, but and being able to show up in some of these these bigger games, I think that's really the main way that you show the CFP that they did this for legitimate reasons and didn't just do it because oh, now people are going to tune in because there's going to be a lot of Bama fans that are going to tune in, and there's going to be people that want to see Bama lose that are going to tune in. So I think that's really what it comes down to. But I would also say that for about 52 reasons, for everybody, if you could find 52 reasons to keep them in, I could find about 48 to keep them out. So I'm not. Last week I was pounding the table saying we deserve to be in. I was not doing that after the loss yesterday because again, I think that there are a lot of things that you have to look at, not just from a team perspective, but from a precedent perspective when it comes to the CFP, which I think is inherently a flawed process to begin with. Like I saw people arguing to have it be a 16-team thing. I've never been a fan of playoff expansion. I don't agree with that.
They're gonna do it now. I can almost assure you that that's gonna happen.
But I think that there needs to be a cleaner process by which, and this is the last thing I'll say, and it's not the first time I've said this, so I'm sorry if I sound like I'm repeating myself. There was absolutely no reason for us to play Eastern Illinois and win by 56 in a game that showed us absolutely nothing. And even though it was the first couple weeks, there was also really no reason for us to play Louisiana Monroe either.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know that it was early in the season, but there was no reason for us to play that game because that's now 2 wins that you can't use on your resume because guess what? Nobody's going to give a damn about that because you're Alabama. Nobody cares if you can beat those 2 teams. I don't care if you win by 150 points. Nobody cares about those games.
Yeah.
So you basically just gave yourself wrote away 2 opportunities to beef up your resume because you probably could have beaten 98% of the teams that you played that week, but because you chose to play a team that you knew you were going to stomp all over, you actively hurt yourself. Yeah, you may have gotten yourself a win, but you actively hurt yourself in being able to make the consensus or the contention at the end of the season that you deserve to be one of the final 10 standing.
The thing that I'll add to this scoop before I go to Brandon on this, and I'll get your thoughts on a couple of these things as well, because I think it is important because what you said kind of leads into this. One is I genuinely have no clue what the committee's actual criteria was this year.
I never really know what they are
because like all year long they were like we because they said all year long we're not going to care about analytical statistical resumes, which we have stated on this show that you need to not only look at the analytical resume but the next thing, which apparently they basically did 100%, which was the eye test. They were like, we're going 100% by eye test, which is stupid. and makes
Thank you.
no sense at all. And then at
Thank
the
you.
same time, you can't tell me that the eye test shows you, as you said, Scoop, the eye test tells you anything about these bottom feeder teams that you guys are playing, or the fact that you guys got smoked by Georgia yesterday. What does the eye test show you there to make you a 9 seed?
No, and again, I've said this before. I've said this with Brandon on WTS. I've said this with Shane when he and I go back and forth about analytics. And one of the main problems that I have with the quote unquote eye test is that it's so recency biased. In the fact that you're inherently going to remember the big events that happened yesterday versus the ones that happened 3 months ago. Even if it was a big,
But then I'm gonna interrupt. But then if you're gonna do that and tell me that the most recent blowout loss by Alabama, the eye test says they should be 9, is insane.
no, I agree with you. That's why I was just saying that I think that because obviously the eye test there was not the only thing that was a factor,
Right.
but
But it was their number one factor, and they said it every week.
it just feels like they straight up abandoned that with this. Now I'll be 100% transparent. I did not get to watch the game. I thought it was later than it was, so I didn't get a chance to watch it. So I'm not going off of the eye test practically at all with what I'm saying. So I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, that's
Um,
fine. That's fine. But
but
again, there has to be a mix between a resume and an eye test.
I
You
to-
can't just
I,
go one
to-
way or another.
I totally agree with that. And um, but I was just saying that whenever I'm mentioning sort of the one versus the other, I just wanted to make it clear that I wasn't able to use a mix of these when it comes to this specific game because I did not see 1 minute of that game.
I mean, that's
Um,
fine. That's fine. I think your point is still valid. And then I think lastly, when it comes to Alabama, these concerns that you're mentioning about Alabama, how concerned are you about that against Oklahoma? Because I'm still taking you guys over Oklahoma.
I'm still taking us over Oklahoma too. And here's what I would say: we lost by 2 to Oklahoma earlier in this season. Typically, college teams that are that comparable, more often than not, they typically tend to split. We also additionally, we didn't lose that game by 10. We didn't lose that game by 15. We didn't lose that game by a tutty. We lost that game by 2 points. So and there were a couple of instances in that game where it just this is not in any way to discredit Oklahoma in any stretch. So let me just make that clear. But that game, we almost gave them, like, you know how in baseball I talk about you gave them more than 27 outs? We kind of did similar with that against Oklahoma. We kind of did the football equivalent of that because we let them hang around in that game late, way more than we should have. And so my hope, and this is going to be a good test of Coach DeBoer, is my hope is that they're going to have learned from that. They're going to have gone through the tape on that. They're going to have gone through those late game situations, and they're going to make sure that they don't even remotely come close to letting that happen in this game. Because if they don't show that they've been more buttoned up and prepared to play this team for a second time, and if they don't come out and look, emphatically ready to put this game away, not saying that they're going to emphatically put this game away because Oklahoma's a good team, but if they don't look prepared to do that, and if they're getting these little detail things, the penalties are getting in the way, or these stupid ass, one guy, jumps the line, or there's a false start, or there's a bad snap count, or God knows what. If it's those types of things that end up costing them the game, then that's a scathing indictment on the coach, the quarterback, and just so many elements of their football operation right now. So that I do think that I do like them against Oklahoma, but I don't want to see this game just be a narrow, eked out victory. I want them to come into this game and get ready to punch the Sooners in the fucking mouth. Excuse me.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Now, Brandon, are you're taking Alabama as well, correct?
Yeah, I took them in our little bracket thing. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't filled it out yet.
Yeah, no worries. But for Brandon, you and I both kind of were like, well, we feel like BYU and Notre Dame should get in, All things
Miami,
Notre Dame and Miami, not BYU. No way BYU. But we thought Notre Dame and Miami should get in.
Yeah.
Miami did due to the head-to-head, which again they didn't even use for most of the rest of their time discussing it. And so like I mean, it just as Scoop said, he understands the argument. Let's go on to that argument of just Alabama being here at 9 and not having Notre Dame be in this playoff right now.
Like coming into the SEC championship, I said that. I think we all kind of thought that for Bama that was a win in your reign game. That's how we looked at it. And what makes me kind of mad is that I started to get mad about this before the SEC championship even happened. I was mad during rivalry week because both these teams finished before the SEC championship. Both these teams finished at 10-2, so same record. And yes, you gotta weigh the resume, weigh the schedule, and everybody's like, oh well, Bama knocked off, what was it, 4 or 5 ranked teams in a row, whatever it was.
Yes,
which is true. But the thing is that when you look at Notre Dame beat a couple ranked teams. I mean, yeah, Bama did it in a row, but like
Notre Dame also had a really weird schedule because it's Notre Dame and they don't know how to schedule opponents.
Yeah, like that's what's weird.
To me, that's Notre Dame's own fault.
And
it absolutely is their own fault.
Yeah, but the one thing is that like Notre Dame didn't play teams like a UL Monroe. They didn't play teams like you guys know the famous phrase I like to use when it comes to crap teams. They didn't play complete garbage teams like that have no chance of winning. Like they played teams that weren't that good compared to Bama, yes. But then Bama balanced it out by playing literally bottom feeder teams that should be in the FCS. So like it's like it kind of that to me in my eyes balances it out. And then what drags Bama down when you compare them is they're holding Notre Dame accountable for that head-to-head loss against Miami in week 1. But it was on the road, and it was against a team that eventually made the CFP, and that was ranked in the top 12 all year, and they only lost by 3. That it makes me like that's what. So you're holding that loss against them on the road, but then Bama too is on the road, which is okay. But that loss to Florida State had to mean something. You lost by 2 scores to one of the worst teams in college football. Like that just can't happen ever. Like that loss right there really puts a bad taste in my mouth. Like if I was on the committee, I can't look at that and go Bama gets it, because it's another thing too. Losing by 2 scores to Florida State. Notre Dame only had their 2 losses come by a combined 4 points. 3 against Miami and 1 against who was that? Was it A&M?
It might have been. I don't remember.
And A&M is also in the CFP. So there's no shame in like losing to a team that's going to make the CFP. Miami was already in for most of the year. I mean, they had to get in, kind of backdoor their way in, but they were in the top 12 for the entire year. And same thing with Texas A&M. So their 2 losses came to teams that are in the CFP. Bama's...
Yeah, it was 1 to Texas A&M. I remember this game.
Yeah.
Well,
yes, Scoop.
If I may, well, I don't want to interrupt you, but...
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Scoop.
Okay. I do want to mention that, yes, okay, granted, we lost that first week to Florida State. I do think calling them one of the worst teams in college football is a stretch. I know that they had a 5-7 record. They started off the season. Now again, I know they didn't play great teams. They started off the season 3-0, and then multiple of their losses came within 1 score, which a lot of those games, we know that those games can often flip either way. And their defense held up, played very well most of those games. If they were let down, it was by their offense, not their defense. But most of those poor games that they played were actually later in the season, not early in the season. So I think that there's the contextualization there, and also the same thing. The other part, and this was actually the first point I was going to make, is what I think is this just is or what's the word, illustration of, I guess, is the fact that they're going to weigh a team's highest highs more than a team's lowest lows, is what it seems like to me. Because again, the teams you're going to be facing in the CFP are the teams at the top. So from my vantage point, it just feels like because again, Bama beat more ranked teams than any other team, and I think that and again, not to take away, because I literally said earlier that I agree with you that we shouldn't have played those two ridiculous games. But I think what the argument there is that, because again, it's not the win percentage that we had against the winning teams; it's those total wins. So if anything, if we play, more than, if let's say those two teams were against those two games were against top 10 teams, even if we lose both, we still have those 4 wins, or whatever the number is. All that does is potentially increase the number. So we already have this case with those 2 games.
Here's where I have an issue, is that more than any other college football playoff year, I have never seen a committee be more inconsistent about what they're looking for.
Oh, I entirely agree with you on that.
And it's like, and then what that tells me is that it's very clear. And I get it's a conspiracy theory, and Chris Fowler said that they don't do this. I'm confident they do this. The only thing I can really think of that's like, we can talk about all the resumes and all these different things, and that matters.
Yeah.
But to me, the reason why a lot of these teams are in the CFP is just Disney and ESPN wanting ratings. That's it. That's the only thing. That's the only thing I can think of. Because how does the committee justify not the Alabama thing? Let's skip over that for a minute. How does the committee justify not having any consistent understanding of what they're actually doing? And then a few weeks ago, we're doing eye test. Eye test? What did you watch?
At the same time, and what I would add on to that, and this is me agreeing with you, what I add on to that is, this is the kind of the shit that you're going to get yourself into when there's no real consistent year to year, and not just consistent, but like empirical. This is why I say empirical data is like is what I prefer, because it gives you a standard to which to adhere. The year to year, it feels like it's kind of just, a gut instinct, like, this is what we think, or this is what we feel, or whatever. And that's why I like using data and advanced metrics or whatever, because they cut through all that bullshit, because they force you to look at things that are stable from year to year. And in terms of the numbers themselves aren't stable, but what they're choosing the values they're choosing to look at would be more stable. And that's the problem that I have when, when these are all based on just committee conversations, because it's at the whim of people that are evidently either not using the same type of information from year to year.
Same kind of infrastructure of information as well.
Yeah, the same structure of information from year to year, and or are being dishonest as to what they're using. And in my mind, it could be a combination of the two. But that's why I wish that these whole, what the committee decides or whatever, that's why I wish that stuff didn't exist to begin with, and why I wish it just was. And then, again, I think, obviously, so many people agree that the system needs to be overhauled. It's just how you overhaul it is where a lot of the discord happens.
Yeah.
And discourse happens. But for me, that's the difficulty that I face, because I feel like every freaking year, I feel like I hear, like, I'm defending why Bama should be in. We had this happen a year or two ago with Florida State when they lost, I think it was Jordan Travis or somebody, due to injury.
And I agreed with it at the time, because Like, I think injury should have a factor. How competitive are you actually going to be
Yeah,
as a
because
top team?
Yeah.
it's not just about rewarding what you did this season. It's what are you going to be going into what are you going to be going into the
Right.
playoffs?
And
And
I'll counter argument this, and people are gonna be like, "What about the group of five?" Well, the one group of five should be in. I've always said that. The second group of five gets in because the ACC sucked, and they barely even deserved a
That's
spot
that,
other
that
than
that's
Miami.
that's another problem I have is I get when they were talking about Duke, Duke having a, a slightly
Some
better
kind of
strength,
weird
like
breaker and whatever it
like
was.
having
Yeah.
weird tiebreakers and seven different weird ass complicated things as to why they're playing this game over Miami. I don't care. Miami is 10-2. Duke is 7-5. I don't care what the other things say. When you finish 3 games better, not one or two, like not when it's close. When you are 3 overall games better than the team playing the ACC title game, that's disgusting. That's disgusting.
And by
Like,
the way, I will mention. I'm gonna pitch you guys a theoretical, especially in this year in the NFL, which we're gonna get to how crazy it's been. We've talked about it every week. The biggest reason why the title games are so weird is they're really only based on how you did in your conference. They're
yeah,
not based on your overall record ever. Can you imagine
which is why it's
the
dumb.
can you imagine? Now I get it. The NFL, you play your division twice, and the rest of the game should matter, which is why the NFL does what it does. But can you imagine if we just determined who wins a division and goes to the playoffs just based on how they played in the division?
But see,
It would be
that's
stupid.
something. But like when you look at what Miami, so if we're going by conference overall home and away, Miami's better across the board than Duke was all year. So I don't understand what. Like I get why Duke did because they broke it down. It's like Duke had like 6 different things and different advanced stats or whatever that said that they were better. Like whatever it was. But like them and Miami had the same conference record. Miami finished before that title game, finished 3 games ahead of them overall. They were 7-1 at home. Duke was 3-3. Duke was 4-2 on the road. Miami was 3-1. Like, so they didn't play the same amount of games in terms of road record, but 3-1 is a better win percentage away, obviously, than 4-2 is. And then 7-1 is 7-1. If you're 7-1 at home, and a 3-3 home team is playing an ACC title game, I have a Like that's a problem. Like it's like that just can't happen, regardless of whatever stats they were digging into. Like I get it that there's more to it, but
But there shouldn't be because guess what? You
then
have one win or two win or two one loss and two losses.
but then this is why it doesn't make sense. Then they're claiming eye test. What on the eye test with that shows you Duke is better?
Well,
What shows
well,
you,
well, well.
like,
That's more the committee than the ACC.
like
But then I'm gonna throw this out here. I thought the committee was that stupid that they were gonna say, nah, screw JMU. Duke is your 12th seed. I genuinely
yeah,
thought they were probably gonna do that because that's how stupid this committee was.
like I just what I don't get is that
I know they can't. I know they can't say screw it because there are bylaws against it. But imagine if they did.
like what it is like before the SEC championship game, we kept saying when it came to Bama, right? We kept saying, oh well, committee values like we were talking about committee values and what they take into account, what they don't, and we kept saying, well, we know the basics of what they take into account. That they take into account strength of schedule, they take into account, you know, point differential, they take into account how good were your wins versus how bad were your losses, like all these different things, but then that goes out the window because then they were saying, that we're going to go by eye test and other things like that. Well, I mean, if you went by eye test, like this is why I had the problem with Bama, being in because to me, I'm of the mindset. People could say, oh, you're, like Scooby were saying, your highest highs are better than your lowest lows. I don't look at it that way because any team can win, but it takes a really bad team to lose to another really bad team, versus losing to a team that's just as good, if not maybe slightly better than you. So
I sorry.
like
No,
it's
Scoop,
Well,
go.
I was just gonna say, in every sport that we've said this in the NFL this year, we've said it in non-football leagues this year, where it's just you have these games where a good team just loses to a bad team. We talked about the Chiefs losing to the Colts a couple years ago, or whatever the hell the game was. Whoever it was that lost to the Colts a few years ago when the Colts were sucking. Like,
I think it was
again,
actually funny enough. I think it was actually the Buffalo Bills. I think that's what
okay,
it was.
Well, yeah,
I
but
think so.
but like it just I struggle to understand why that's different in college. And again, again, not in any way trying to take away from how bad the losses were.
Here's why it's different in college, because they actually don't know how to schedule opponents and they're stupid.
it's just we all.
It's like
we,
why like if we're gonna this is a sidebar to the 10th degree, but but if we're gonna say, oh, the SEC has a great sense of schedule, yeah, of course it's the SEC. I get that, but at the same time, the biggest thing we need that will make this process, even with 12 teams, so much easier is schedule reform across the board.
yeah.
Like do something like the NFL does with the divisions and the conferences. Do something with it. It's hard because obviously there's so many unevens with it all. But like if we just have like consistent year to year scheduling versus, hey, Alabama, let's schedule Eastern Illinois because we'll pay them money. It's like what?
It's like
and not drowning out Alabama, Scoop. I'm just giving an example
No, I know.
of just
I know.
like.
But you know what it's like? It's like winning the Super Bowl in the NFL and then getting cupcake schedules every year and then continuing to do the same thing. It's like you can't win a Super Bowl. Like, because that's the one thing about football that I like. When a team does win a Super Bowl, automatically next year, your schedule is at least in the top 5 hardest.
Yeah.
The next year,
Well,
automatically, regardless.
Obviously
top
some of
five
that's dependent on that.
top 5 hardest. I will say top 5 hardest predicated on win percentage from the previous year. We've seen teams now more than ever, perhaps, being able to flip their season around for better or worse in the next year, very, very significantly.
Yeah.
So I think that
Well,
I
yeah,
think
but the thing is,
the influence
like,
of that is starting to decline a little bit.
The thing is, like, I get it, but at the same time, like, all you can go off is the year before. So it's like, if I'm gonna have a team next year that just won a championship play other teams, that's all we can go off of. We can't go off of like, I'm like, so like I would if I will bring up Philly here, like, when it comes to
$5 in the jar, please.
Yeah, you're welcome. 5. My God, is that because of inflation? What happened here?
Yeah. We inflated the jar. $5. Next week, if Mike Solly loses to if Mike Wazowski loses to Solly tomorrow, Eagles and Cardinals, you owe me Monster Toys and $10.
Like, the
JK, of course.
It's like, like the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Patriots, like any team that's been really good over the last 15, 20 years. When you go into that next season, and I get that any team can win, but I at least want that team to play teams like a Buffalo Bills, like a Kansas City Chiefs the next year, like a Los Angeles Rams, teams that at least listen. Like, if they're gonna falter, like prove it games, like the Browns are not going to do anything against Philadelphia. The Titans are not going to do anything against the Chiefs. Like, and that game's coming up pretty soon, actually in a couple weeks. But it's like,
it won't matter now.
Yeah, it won't matter now. But I'm saying, like, it's like, we can only go off the year before, but at the same time, I'd rather stack the schedule with teams that at least have a chance of being good the next year, like teams that we know are historically good, versus teams that coming into this year, they loaded up, but those teams have to prove they're good. These teams, like, every year is a prove it thing, right? We know that, but like, I want the teams that are historically good playing the teams that are historically good every year. Because that's how you assert your dominance over those teams, and then guess what?
Right.
To keep doing it. Like, I just don't like when, because like that's one of the beefs I had with the Bama thing, is that their wins were super high. The 2 losses were rough, before the SEC championship game. But then some of the wins kind of inflated the resume too, because Notre Dame didn't play a team like UL Monroe. Notre Dame didn't play a team like Eastern Illinois, like whatever it was. So like, it's
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's what I would say. You could. My mom's talking in her sleep. Here's what I would say though. I can almost use that as a point in Bama's favor because they had the opportunity, meaning these Notre Dame and whomever, they had the opportunity. If they had more games against this better competition than Bama did, then why don't they have as many or more wins against top 25 teams than Bama does?
No, and I think that's fair. And to finish this off, there's a couple things here that I need to mention. One is that I'm going to be real. Notre Dame and UConn need to be in a conference. This is stupid. I understand why they're not in a conference because they make so much money not being in a conference, but it's dumb. It's really dumb.
Notre Dame is basically part of it. Well, I mean, they're not part of ACC. They basically are ACC.
They play an ACC schedule. They play 5 ACC games every year.
But in my opinion, if you're choosing to take that money, then you're making sacrifices with it, and this is one of them.
Oh, yes, 100%. That's a major issue. But then, so there's that. Then we talked about the schedule reform. The AP poll should decide the college football playoff. I'm tired of a 12 or however many people, 60-year-old committee with their own biases and crap. Is the AP poll perfect? As we learned in the BCS era, it is absolutely not perfect. But how many people vote in the AP poll every week? Like 800?
Yeah.
Something crazy?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that many.
There's a lot of people that vote in the AP poll.
It's basically 800 versus 8.
Versus 12.
So it's like I trust the 800 versus the 8 that are supported. Like that's like having it's like Star Wars. It's like, it's like having a Jedi Council vote on the fate of the galaxy, more or less. Then it's like, it's like, but
you're speaking gibberish to me right now, but that's fine.
Well, it's like it doesn't make sense to me to have and the thing is like I don't understand why. This is another problem I have with the committee is why. And someone brought this up. I saw this on Twitter, and I saw a couple of people bring this up. So I'm going to echo this point because I think it's kind of an important point too. Why can't we listen in on these meetings?
Yep.
Why?
I would love that.
I
would love that.
We want to know what their thought process is, so that way, hey, at least if we're debating, Notre Dame and Bama or whoever it might be, then at least we can understand where they're coming from with it, instead of leaving it up to the people to basically attack each other like Black Friday and beat each other over the head on social media. So it's like, the problem is with me when it comes to there's so many arguments you can make for Notre Dame. There's so many arguments you can make for Bama. There's so many arguments you can make for Miami. There's so many arguments you can make for the group of.
I have not counted how many people are part of the AP poll, but from the part that I counted, I'm already at 27. I think there's like 40 people in here.
Oh my god!
It's more than 12.
And the thing is with the AP poll that, but that's one product. I mean, I will say that too because I didn't bring up this point. I mean, this is going way back to my earlier points about Notre Dame, but what I just don't get is if both teams have whatever it is, they always say that sometimes a really bad win can drop you in the standings, which it does. Oregon's gone through that. I've seen that with my own college football team, and obviously losses drop you in the poll. What I don't understand was after rivalry week, why did Bama jump Notre Dame when Notre Dame destroyed their rival and Bama squeaked out the win against Auburn, and they just switched spots. It went from being 9 Notre Dame, 10 Bama to 9 Bama, 10 Notre Dame.
And it was partially to keep Bama at 9 so people could start freaking out at each other.
That's why I said at that moment, I said right there that obviously I'm one of the people that thought Bama shouldn't have gotten in, but at the same time, when I saw them do that, I was like, that's to protect their ass in case Bama does get blown out by Georgia or whatever happens. Because at that point, if they were to stay where they were, I don't think there was any way you could defend Bama getting in. So because then obviously you're not going to drop because at that point you would keep Notre Dame at 9, Bama would go to 10, and then if Bama lost the SEC championship, which they did, then Miami would have took their spot, or Miami and Notre Dame would have flip flopped, and then you get the group of 5. So to me, the only reason that they bumped Bama up to 9 was to keep them in, because I can't see any other way where you both played opponents that were not playing bowl games. They were both 5 or 4 win teams, but Notre Dame beat their rival. Was it by 29? That's a lot. That's a lot. They beat them by a lot. So it was like, I don't get why they flip flop, other than for the simple fact of you wanting to keep Bama in. Like that's where I lost it. That's where I was like, okay, we can talk about the SEC title game and Bama getting blown out, and that was already bad enough for like optics, and we can talk about Notre Dame not being in a conference. But to me, almost none of that. We don't talk about any of that. If they just would have kept Bama and Notre Dame where they should have been going into the title game week, that's to me what should have happened. They should have stayed where it was, and then we let it play out.
I'm gonna quickly read you guys the top 12 of the AP poll that we got this morning, understanding the fact that 2 group of 5s had to get in regardless, considering of the situation, which I disagree with, because Miami probably should have been in anyway.
Well,
whatever.
That's another problem. One more problem I'll bring up with Bama is every conference title game loser got knocked down. Why didn't Bama? That to me just doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so this is gonna 100% prove my point of why the AP poll should decide this. Understanding the bylaws of the group of 5, we're not going to entirely worry about that right now. Number 1, Indiana. Number 2, Georgia. Number 3, Ohio State. Number 4, Texas Tech. Number 5, Oregon. Number 6, Ole Miss. Number 7, A&M. Number 8, Oklahoma. Number 9, Notre Dame. Number 10, Miami. Number 11, Alabama. Number 12, BYU. Honestly, fine.
And you know what it is too, because that also it brings up a weird point. Because if Bama finishes at 11 in the AP poll, that puts them out in terms of the CFP.
That would have put them out, yeah.
So that's another red flag. Like that. So because that's why this is all why I'm saying I would have had it. Like the only logical placement of these teams would have been ND at 9. Miami at 10, or hell, if you want to rate the win over Notre Dame higher, okay, put Miami at 9, Notre Dame at 10, and then 11, 12 is the group of 5 because of the
hell, they didn't even do that in the AP poll. They still put Notre Dame ahead. They still did.
And even then, I would have been a little bit like, okay, well, maybe they should. That's when they should flip flop, okay, because they won the head to head. That's where I switch Miami and Notre Dame just because of the head to head. That makes more sense than knocking Notre Dame, first of all, flip-flopping Bama and Notre Dame during rivalry week, then saying that and now the AP poll is saying that by putting Bama at 11, because Bama couldn't finish lower than 10 in the AP poll if they wanted to get in, because usually the AP poll is a good indicator of who gets in and who gets out for the committee. So
it should be the main thing.
So yeah. So
and I'll be honest, I'm gonna even go a step further. The group of 5 this year was so shit. This AP poll of the top 12 should have been our top 12. Should have been our teams in order. I'm just being real. This should have been our 12.
Is a group of 5 team going to beat Bama? No. If they were to match up, no. But
JMU, Oregon's going to smack JMU. You guys are going to roast them.
Yeah, especially with the home game in Autzen. Oh yeah, we're going to win that game by at least 30. So, we should
have fun, TNT.
We should. Okay. I swear, if we don't, there's going to be problems.
Brandon is going to lose his mind if the Eagles and Oregon lose on the same day.
Yeah,
He's not going to be okay.
and the games are back to back. Oh,
All right, let's move on. Something amazing happened that has only happened about, I think, twice in our lives in the NFL. Number one was when Tom Brady, his final game in New England, when Tennessee beat him. And we kind of had this feeling of, oh my God, it's over. Like, it's really, really over. Now, we don't really have this with Kansas City just yet. But Scoop, it kind of has that similar feeling after tonight, doesn't it? Of like, here's the dynasty just having a brutal year beyond belief. And now, 11 to 16% to make the playoffs. It kind of just has that feeling of what in the world is going on, and wow.
Yeah, so here's the tough thing is, and I kind of made this distinction a few weeks ago, right? Where I'm not willing to say I think that this is a death knell to the dynasty itself.
No, absolutely not. I don't think so.
But it's definitely looks like the hardest blow they've taken in the Andy Reid era. And it's definitely significant. And it's made even more significant by the fact that they, you know how we always say that one team wins a game more than, or either this team won it more than the other team lost it, or vice versa, that team lost it more than this team won it. Due credit to Houston today and how Stroud played, how their defense played in particular. But Kansas City was doing everything they could in that final few minutes to give that game to Houston.
Yeah, 100%.
And it was borderline painful to watch. Because for a team that so prides itself on being buttoned up on execution of the fundamentals and the details and the fine, little things and whatever, what a scathing indictment on how how prepared they looked this week for that. Because Mahomes out there, it's one thing to get outplayed because players get outplayed. He looked so far behind CJ Stroud just in terms of his performance, where if you had told me that one of these quarterbacks was considered one of the greatest of his era, I would have thought Houston had that quarterback, not Kansas City.
And I'm just going to quickly add this in and let you continue. The one word that sticks to my mind to Kansas City today as a whole was panicked. And panicked beyond belief. Not ready and panicked. And go with that, Scoop.
Yeah, I mean, I think that hits the nail on the head quite significantly and quite, aptly, because it just is not looking as if they trust each other. It's not looking like they're in sync. I love Travis Kelce as a person and as a player, but this guy looks. He's not over the hill. He's at the other side of the hill, the boulder from Sisyphus is coming down and about to hit him in the ass.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely looking like he should have retired 2 years ago.
He should have retired last year. He absolutely should have.
Like, I'm sure he didn't want to go out having lost the Super Bowl in such devastating fashion. I'm sure he wanted to go out with one more ring. I'm sure maybe he and Andy Reid wanted to retire together. I have no idea. But whatever it is looking ugly. And quite honestly, it sucks to see, just knowing that he's one of the probably 3 or 4 greatest tight ends ever. But he's probably, I would consider him in the conversation with guys like Gronk, Tony Gonzalez, and Shannon Sharp. But he is hurting himself right now. He's hurting his team right now. And he's hurting his legacy right now.
Yeah. The thing, Brandon, that hits me, right, is ever since back to like when we first met and started doing shows together, we started kind of having problems with Kansas City. Defensively, they weren't fully minded. The players that they were losing across the board, and then over the years, the receivers not catching balls as they did today. We saw all of these signs, which, by the way, led to Philly having that dominant performance because we had an inkling, even though we had an inkling last year and said, hey, Philly's 100% the better team by a mile, but Kansas City's Kansas City, and we know what happened in February last year. But we saw these problems for years, and they were masked, and they were masked, and they were masked. Mm-hmm. And we knew somehow, some way, eventually it was going to be somewhat like this, maybe not to this extent, but we kind of saw it, and it feels like Kansas City didn't. And then today, the fourth down decisions, right, as a perfect example of the panic and the continuation of what Scoop said with that panic and the just unpreparedness that they had. It's just the epitome of their season that is 15% ready to be over at this point.
It's what I don't get is that, anytime you come into a do or die game for your season, more or less, anytime you come into, a game, like, what's at stake, right? Kansas City feels like they didn't know what was at stake until the fourth quarter. Like, it was like, and then they just started panicking. Guys started getting shaky hands. I mean, they were just dropping balls all night, but dropping balls, especially in that fourth quarter. But I've never seen Andy Reid that just dumbfounded on the side. Like, Andy Reid is usually a very quiet guy, doesn't get loud, and he didn't get tonight. But I saw in that fourth quarter, for the first time in my life, between all the years, obviously, that we've seen Andy do his thing for our team and for all the years Andy's been in KC, that was the first time I looked at Andy Reid and I saw 1,000-yard stare from him. Like he was mentally checked out. Like it was like he knew this was it. Like it was weird. Like it. I mean, we know that it might not be, but it almost felt like this team treated it like it was their own funeral. And it's just weird. It's a weird, bizarre. Like, the body language is really off. Like, tonight, the body language from everybody was off. The offensive lineman, it was off. Patrick Mahomes was dejected the whole night. Travis Kelce couldn't figure it out. He had another one had the 1,000-yard stare on the sideline. Like, it's a different thing when you lose just one game and you have like that look in your eyes of like, you're defeated. But these guys looked like they were completely like soulless. Like any juice that they had left from all the years of success, or whatever, it was gone. It's just what it looked. It's what it looked like. It's what it felt like. It's what it sounded like. It's like, if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. Like
Oregon quack.
But I wasn't gonna go there. But I like to use, I like to use that phrase that it's like, okay, call it like you see it, kind of thing. Like, I don't want to say it's the death blow to Kansas City because it's Kansas City, but at the same time, like, let's look at it this way: Travis Kelce has declined every year since after 2022. 23 declined.
I'm gonna be honest. When he dated Taylor Swift, that's when you saw the massive decline. I'm being real, guys. Like, I'm being honest.
I mean, listen.
I know we have two Taylor Swift fans. Scoop and I are fans, not diehard idiots, but we're fans.
But you know what it is?
We saw it.
Scoop,
you know what I'm talking about. They're idiots and they're fans. Yes.
Like, but here's the thing. You know what it is too. When it comes to that, joke. What do we always say is like the common denominator in all her relationships? It's her. Like, so it's like, listen, you could have a bad relationship, but if you're in 10 to 12 to 15 bad relationships, the common denominator is you. So, like, at the end of the day, you got to call a spade a spade. So that's the second time we've used that phrase tonight.
It's pretty apt for what happened over this weekend.
But it's like looking at Kansas City, I even said to you as we're watching the end of that game, I said, wow, this is the first time I've seen Kansas City look desperate. Like looking like they're literally like that they know. And I don't get, I don't know if it's age. I mean, it could be, but Chris Jones is not getting any younger. Obviously, he's one of the, he's been there for so long. Mahomes is going to start, obviously getting towards the back half of his career pretty soon. Travis Kelce is 36 years old. Like, how much longer do you want to keep playing at this point? Because what do you have left to prove?
He's got a wedding this summer, dude. Like let's be real here.
I don't get what Travis has left to prove. You are a multi-time Super Bowl champion. You are a first ballot Hall of Famer. You're one of the greatest tight ends to play the game. You're getting married to a woman that has more money than God. I don't understand what's left for you to prove anymore. Like I'm watching him literally over these last 3 years of his decline. I'm watching him literally drop balls that he never dropped in his play. It was like, okay, find Travis Kelce, boom, catch 15 yards, first down. Now it's like he's leaking out into the flat for like a 3-yard, like some sort of out route. He came and he turns, he presents the front of his jersey to Patrick Mahomes, sits down, gives him a target. Mahomes throws it right at his chest and he's dropping it. And I'm like, that's not Travis Kelce. Like, I don't know who this is, but this is not Travis Kelce. Like, it's like
it's Travis Swift. That's what it is.
like I watch that, and the thing is too, I watch how their run game is. I mean, they can't figure out if they want Pacheco to run the ball, they want Kareem Hunt to run the ball. They can't figure out what the run game even is at this point, and they can't run the ball that well. Period. And then, what was it? And it's not just Travis Kelce. We talk about Patrick Mahomes has a lot of drops from his receivers. That part is true, but it's only half true. Patrick Mahomes and his deep ball has been one of the worst deep balls in the NFL the last 3 years. It's been one of the most inaccurate deep balls in the NFL the last 3 seasons. So it's just a mix of so many bad things. I think another thing too is that, we always say that the game catches up to certain coaches. Like the game caught up to Bill Belichick. The game might have caught up to Pete Carroll. Over the years, the game catches up to Mike Tomlin or Harbaugh or the Harbaughs. But when you look at like Steve Spagnuolo's defense, that's no longer a genius defense anymore. You can beat it because all it is is just if you have man beaters and blitz beater type plays, you'll beat them all night long.
It's funny. It's not the same defense from a technical standpoint because Shane explained why it's different in a way.
Yeah,
it's kind of similar to Minnesota's in terms of how they just do blitzes and stuff.
But the thing is like when you think about this, right? Like Steve Spagnuolo, defensive genius, will be a Hall of Famer one day. I mean, this guy's going to be should be a first ballot coach going into the Hall of Fame. I mean, the guy's won, everywhere he's been more or less. So it's like, but the thing is that it's been a long time of this. When you've done this for so long, like eventually it catches up to you. I mean, certain guys, can keep, adapting with the times and changing their scheme. But it's like, I don't think Spags does. I don't think Andy is the offensive genius that he once was. I don't see it anymore. Like when we look at that first Super Bowl against us, and I have to bring this up, but because he's the one, him and Bieniemy together, but it's mostly Andy's offense and Bieniemy's calling the plays and whatnot. But they were running circles around that defense. Like every play was unique. It looked like the Detroit Lions offense where it was like, okay, this play is going to look different from this play, look different from that play, look different from this. Like every play was different and every play was unique and every play was getting big chunk yards. I look at the Chiefs over the last 2 or 3 years and I'm like, they're not doing anything creative anymore. It's a run on the first 2 downs and it's a deep shot that has to go at least 12 to 15 yards on 3rd down, or they'll get a couple yards on 1st and 2nd down, then it's just a check down, and then it's an overshot deep ball down the field, and they got a punt. Like it's like they're not doing anything. I don't see anything creative with the Chiefs offense compared to they don't use, from what I remember, at least from what I'm looking with the eye test, at least at this point in this franchise's history, is you go back to that Super Bowl 57, it's a lot of motion, it's a lot of sweeps, it's a lot of like crossing routes where guys are intersecting each other. Like it's a lot of different kinds of things. It's utilizing the middle of the field. Like it seems like with this team, they don't utilize the middle of the field unless it's Travis Kelce. But here's the problem: Travis Kelce doesn't have it anymore. So when the one guy you use who can sit down in the middle of the field on any defense and find an open hole in the defense, and all Mahomes do is just got to get it to him, and it's a first down. When you take that away, who's stepping? It doesn't make sense. It just feels like that the game is starting to finally catch up to them, and they don't know how to adjust. And then now the age, father time, is catching up to a lot of them. So like, it's not a death blow. Like if this happens again next year, then yeah, it's done. Like it's done. But like, so it's like who is going to replace Travis Kelce when he's gone? Because those are large shoes to fill. And
Noah Gray.
But even then, Noah Gray is not Travis Kelce. So like, and he never will.
And Noah Gray's also getting older, to be honest. He's what, 28 now, 27?
He's been there a while with Travis. So like they have kept those two guys together for a while. So no one knows the offense, yeah, but he's not Travis. I mean, hell, even he has. Honestly, once about really bad hands, he doesn't have good hands either for a tight end. So it's like everything I watch with this Kansas City team, and I'm just like, and every year it's getting worse and getting worse and getting like each year it's getting a little bit worse than the last. And I'm like, well, at some point, you can't write them off because it's Kansas City. But if this happens next year, I'm done. Like, if this happens again next year, that dynasty is over. Now, for how long? Who knows? But to me, I think now in terms of a playoff contender this year, I mean, obviously they're done. I think in terms of playoff contender, it's Kansas City. It's the AFC. It's the AFC. As long as Patrick Mahomes is there, they're still heavily favored. But I think they can be a playoff team. In terms of Super Bowl window, I think that's closed. To me, I think it's closed. And if it's not closed, then there's at least a tiny crack in it left, and it's going to get closed. So it's like, cause I just can't see how you can keep playing this way over. This isn't just a 4 or 5 game thing. This is a 2 or 3 season thing. This has been a problem now for 2 or 3 years. Listen, they made the Super Bowl last year, yeah, but they got exposed for what they were, which was barely getting by, and you got exposed by a team that was going to give you hell for 4 quarters.
Can I add on to that?
Yeah, absolutely, Scoop.
And this is not to delegitimize them at all, obviously, because the rings are the rings.
Yeah.
But even the year before that, their Super Bowl, they won that in OT by a field goal.
Yeah.
And the year before that, I'm not trying to be that guy, but there was a lot of controversy as to the way that game ended. So,
yeah. I mean, you're not even being that guy. It's just the truth. There was controversy in the whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my point was just being that, like, it's not like this team was, even when they were winning their rings, it's not like they were socking teams in the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Scoop, to finish this off, I think it's important to kind of circle back before we get to our in and out game here. Just how much the Chiefs should have won this game. How bad the Texans were offensively. How bad that offensive line looked. This is a game Kansas City should have won regardless, honestly, when we look at it.
And moreover than even saying that they should have won it, 2 or 3 years ago, this is a game that Kansas City does win and wins convincingly.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's what's scary, though, is because this game was 10-0. I'm like, okay, good start for Houston, but KC will come back. It took until the 4th quarter or the end of the 3rd quarter, pretty much, for Kansas City to come back. Like, it took them a while to get going, and then as fast as they got going, it died again. Like, it was like, you get off to a 10-0 deficit. Okay, it's still early. You're at home. It's Kansas City. 10-0 might as well be a 0-0 game against Kansas City, which it usually is. But then you get to, 2nd quarter, nothing. 3rd quarter, a lot of nothing for most of it till the end. You get into the 4th quarter. Okay, the game is tough. And like, I'm sitting there thinking because the Titans, because the Texans can't move the ball at all. It was nothing but 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, like throw the ball away, mistakes, interception, fumble, whatever it was. Like so many times they just could not move the ball when they had that double-digit lead. But I was like, okay, they might as well play like damn Titans. I keep saying Titans. But the Texans, like when you don't put Kansas City away, and like every year we talk about this, like when you don't put the nail in their coffin, which ironically they did by the end of the game, but when you don't finish them off and you just don't, and you're not moving the ball, like that's a game that Houston should never have won because you started off good, but then you did nothing for basically 2.5 quarters. You gave Casey every opportunity to win that game, and Casey said, "Nah, I'm good. You can have it."
Yeah.
Like,
bad. And then finally, to finish this off, the entire AFC, hell, the entire NFL is grinning from ear to ear right now, especially Houston after tonight, because the fact that Kansas City will not be in the playoffs, presumably, that's a huge win because you never know.
I know the percentage is low, but they have to win out. Because they said on the broadcast, but with a loss, they have to win out plus get help, like from three or four, not just one team, like 3 or 4 teams. So,
right. Yeah. So this is Scoop segment. I'm just leading it here. Scoop, you have a list. So if there's any teams that I miss on your list for this segment, you can let me know and we can add them here at the end. We are going to start with the 7-seed Houston Texans, though their current playoff probability, all of this according to NFL.com, is now at 87%. Are we in or out on the aforementioned Houston Texans?
In.
Yeah, I'm in, but the offense is really bad. But that defense is so good, it could carry them a long way. So I'm in.
And also, I want to add on to that, as we've said myriad times this year, there's a dearth of good defenses in the NFL.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. That makes me in as well. That defense is nasty. I'm really concerned about that offense, but that defense is nasty. I do think Jacksonville's slightly better. I do.
Yeah.
I think they're very slightly better. And then we can jump to Jacksonville as the 3 seed. They're 98%. They're in. I'm in on Jacksonville as well. I think they can win a playoff game.
I'm in.
This is one of the teams I keep going on which I keep going back and forth.
And by the way, you should. It's not like Jacksonville's been smacking people in the mouth.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. No. This is definitely a tough one for me to evaluate. But as of right now, softly, I'm gonna say in.
Yeah, that's fine.
A soft in. The 1 seed with 99%, the Denver Broncos. They struggled. Kind of might at least the right word. They were winning in the fourth quarter, but they did struggle against the Raiders today. It wasn't pretty.
Yeah, and that's twice now too. I know it's a division game, but the Raiders are the most horrendous football team. They should be playing in the CFL. Like that's how bad the Raiders are. So it's like to only beat them by what a combined was at 10 points between the 2 games they played against them. That's like I'm in on Denver, even though they're the 1 seed. I'm in on Denver, but I'm fading fast because that defense is still phenomenal. But the thing is like they're not getting better offensively every week. Like at least the Texans can show some signs of life here and there, but Denver's not getting better. The offense still has the same problems. The play calling is still not good. Bo Nix is a little inconsistent. He's kind of going through a slight sophomore slump, which does matter, and they just don't wake up until they absolutely have to. That's a big problem. Like they don't get out to big leads. They kind of let every team they play hang around forever, and not for nothing, but we always talk about the one score game thing. Almost all their wins have come by 1 score. I think they have 11 wins, or is it 11 now?
11 and 2.
11 wins, and I think 9 or 10 of them are by 1 score. I can't remember how many I actually counted, but Rob, you were on the phone with me when I counted them.
I think it was 9. Yeah.
It was 9, I think, and of their 13 total games, 11 of them have been 1 score. So
Yeah, they have 9 one-score wins. I will also add their 2 losses are about a combined 4 points.
Yeah,
It's scary. Like, so I'm in on them still, but I'm fading on them.
I am out. Scoop.
I remain in. Wait, Rob,
Yeah.
remind me. Just give me real quick. Remind me what you guys both said about the Jags and Texans.
And
Jags and Texans. We said in. Yeah. So Denver, I'm saying out. I don't like their play calling. I think they get lost at times. I'm out. I am. I'm out. I'm
I
out.
can
I
see
really
it.
am. I've been out for months on them.
I
Um,
I will say I remain in. The Yeah, I know they've been in a lot of close games, but one thing I will add, and this wasn't originally a mindset of mine, but I'm thinking about it more recently. A lot of times, the games that you have to win in the playoffs do come down to one-score games.
yeah.
So I think that yeah, it's not really sustainable from year to year to win that many one-score games. But if it's something you can do multiple times throughout the season, that could end up boding well for if you get into a shootout at the end of a game in the playoffs. I It's also one of the few teams where I've seen things to like recently from all 3 phases of their game. It's a team that I excuse me again 4 points separating you from being undefeated is insane. So the fact now again, I know you can flip that and say there's not that many more points from being 500. I do understand that. Um, but again, just looking at what they've been this season and looking at some of the teams that they have beaten, they beat Philly, they beat Dallas when Dallas was actually playing well eventually. Um, they've so I know that they only quote unquote only beat the Raiders by 7, but they do have impressive wins on their ledger as well. And I wouldn't consider either of their losses particularly bad losses. So you know they're doing what they have to do to win, and they're getting contributions from all 3 phases of their game. And I remain somebody who trusts and believes in Bo Nix. He seems to, he doesn't typically make the big mistake, which I think is a big thing in the playoffs. There are very few quarterbacks who are capable of doing as much as I think he's capable of doing, but also are not going to be the reason your offense screws up more often than not. So I'm still in on Denver for now.
Well, you know what I will say, and I like those points. The one thing that's scary is, I mean, this is kind of an outlier, but history does tend to repeat itself. Not with a certain team, but still. Remember in 2022, Minnesota set the NFL record for one-score wins.
Yes.
Denver's right behind them right now. And what happened in Minnesota? They got exposed. So that's one thing I'm worried
Who was
about. Like
Minnesota's QB that year? Was it Cousins?
that in 22.
It was Cousins.
Yeah, it was Cousins.
It was Cousins. Oh, and
Okay.
by the way, I just want to reiterate with Jacksonville and Houston. I'm saying in because I think they can win a playoff game, not because I think they can win the Super Bowl. I just wanted to
that's
distinct
how
that
I am.
really quick.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So-
I thought we were talking about in terms of like can make a playoff run.
I think they can win one, maybe 2, but 1. No, I'm saying in just because I'm confident how they're playing, but that's kind of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
This next team, I'm gonna hate saying this. This is gonna get aggregated in 6 weeks, and I apologize. The New England Patriots are gonna hoist the Lombardi Trophy. I'm gonna say it right now, and I'm probably gonna hate myself for it. Here's why I say that. I understand LA, and I understand because I've been struggling with New England, right? Because I don't like their roster. I really don't. Does it matter this year that the roster's not that good? Does it matter? Does it really matter when you have Mike Rabel as your head coach? When you have the kind of special teams that group has? When you have that kind of defensive line? When you have Drake May playing like that? I'm going to hate myself in 6 weeks because I feel like this is going to be terribly wrong. But
You know what it is, though?
I think New England's going to hoist the trophy, guys. New England's my Super Bowl pick, and I kind of hate myself for it.
But
I really do, because I don't think this is right at all. I really don't. But I can't deny it. I can't. I've been thinking about it all week.
You know what it is though. Like Mike Vrabel, we even said that him getting ousted from Tennessee was a fireable offense for the front office. But what people fail to realize is how much good coaching matters in this league, even above the talent that you have on the team. Because good coaching can turn water into wine. And when it comes to Vrabel, right? This is a guy that led a Tennessee team that, I mean, listen, they had a good defense, but guess what? All of Vrabel's teams usually do have good defenses. Tennessee was not a good defense before Mike Vrabel. They were after. Or they were during, I should say. So, everyone's like, oh, he had A.J. Brown, he had Derrick Henry. Yeah, that's all they had. So, and maybe, what's his name? Jeffrey Simmons. But that's all they pretty much had there in Tennessee, and he got to multiple, I think not just one, but multiple AFC title games.
With not a good roster, by the way.
With not a good roster, which is, there we go, history repeating itself. But the thing is, you don't have Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. You've got Drake May. You've got some experience. You have a more experienced receiver in Stephon Diggs, who's more experienced than any receiver they had in Tennessee under Vrabel. At least I'm pretty sure that's the case. Yes. And the thing is, and not for nothing, but we talk about culture too a lot. Now Tennessee had a good culture under Vrabel, but New England prides itself on the whole thing, the Patriot way. Mike Vrabel's a Patriots legend. Mike Vrabel is a good coach. Like all these things kind of like that kind of, I hate to use the modern term, but aura, that aura matters. Like, so, I can see them making a run. Like I've never been out on New England. I've had my concerns with New England, but having my concerns with New England doesn't mean I'm out on them. My
concerns every week, I think, are getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And they're on a bye week, but I've been thinking about it all week. I'm like, do these concerns really matter with how the rest of the league is? Do they really matter that much compared to like the Rams, where that secondary, we'll get to it, that secondary is atrocious. That's not a Super Bowl secondary. I don't really have that same concern with New England. I don't. I really don't. Like, it's really weird. Scoop, what are your thoughts on New England? Am I out of bounds by saying what I'm thinking right now? Because I'm wondering if
I don't think you're out of bounds. I don't think you're going to end up being right either, respectfully. I think that
no, I don't think so either. And that's why I'm freaking out. I don't think I'm going to be right either, but I can't think any other way right now.
Which, again, I can see why. But here's one of the things that's tripping me out, or several of the things that's tripping me out. When they've played competitive teams, which their schedule this year has low-key been one of the softest schedules in the league.
I mean,
and I don't like that.
Because they were awful last year.
No, I know that. But I'm saying I think that's I get you play who's on your schedule. But some of these games against really inferior teams should not be as close as they are. You're not going to be facing the. Let me look at the schedule.
That's what worries me, Scoop. It's not so much like the schedule is weak, but then it's how close these games are.
Yeah, well, see, like you're not going to be facing the Saints, the Falcons, and the Bengals in the playoffs, and they won those games by a combined 2 touchdowns. And it's just. And it's again, I understand you're going to win ugly sometimes, but this entire season is just more than not, in my opinion. They're winning these games not as they haven't won as many games as throat punch convincingly as I would have liked. They haven't really given the Mike Tyson to enough teams for me to really think that, oh, this is a team that's not going to get exposed in the playoffs. Now, again, I'll say this. Maybe the team that can quote-unquote expose them doesn't end up in their path. Maybe they do end up going to the Super Bowl. But do I think that if they go up against a team like one of the top teams in the NFC, do I think they can overtake that team? I'm not convinced of that right now.
Yeah.
Respectfully, and again, Drake May has really proven me wrong. I've always, respected Mike Vrabel as a coach. I've always considered him one of the top coaches in the NFL. I'm out on New England.
Wow. How
I
does
think
that
they're fine.
compare? How does that compare to how you feel about the LA Rams right now? Let's just jump over there really quick.
Yeah. So going over to the LA Rams.
I don't mind you being out on New England. I really don't. By the way,
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, for one thing, you mentioned it earlier. I do trust the Rams roster more than I trust the Patriots roster.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing, and again, this is not to disrespect Mike Vrabel, because he obviously only had so much to work with in Tennessee, which was not much at all. That being said, I've seen what Sean McVay can do in the playoffs, so I know what he can. I know what he can do in the playoffs. So a coach that I trust more with a roster that I like better is a hard thing for me to overcome. Matt Stafford is looking like again, not to delegitimize Drake May, but Matt Stafford is looking like he may be playing some of his best football, and he's 36.
He has an iron back, and he's playing like this.
Yeah, and so I still remain in on the Rams. Again, I don't like the loss to the Panthers. I think that was horrible. But then again, it's one loss. This is not several games against poor teams where they've not played well enough for me. This is one game that was just an absolute clunker. It happens, and quite frankly, I'd rather see him do that in week 13 than week 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a Patriots Rams Super Bowl. I may take
I may
take the Rams. I probably will. Oh God, another one is right, but
a combined 16
Yeah, but
points
see,
in that
like
last one.
that to me just screams blowout, because that's who the hell is going to cover Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Kyron, and Blake Corum.
If those are the two teams in the Super Bowl, I think we get the most one-sided Super Bowl since the 43-8 Seahawks win.
yeah, and again, I still really like New England. And again, I'm so wishy-washy on New England and the Rams. I think I need to see how the next 4 weeks play out, honestly. But
Yeah,
it's so weird. But
Brandon, you
right
said you're
now,
in on the Patriots, right?
I'm in on the Pats.
But I'm obviously cautious because of the concerns we have. So I'm in still.
Yeah.
And all three of us are in on the Rams.
Yeah.
I'm in on that.
And I'll just say, I think right now, if I was to put money on a Super Bowl matchup, I would easily put it on New England and LA.
See, the sleeper could be Denver, because Denver's defense is far better than New England offense. Like Denver could shut down Drake May. Like if I had to bet on a defense that could stop Drake May right now,
That's one thing for me, is that that's kind of what I was saying, is that the Patriots for me are so matchup dependent. Like if they run into a team with a stout defense, and a good enough offense, Denver might be their worst matchup.
Yeah. Honestly, like I'm saying the thing about New England because I like Rabel and I like what's happening there. I probably will be wrong after 6 weeks, and I'm fine with it because I don't even know what to make of the whole league. I'm fine with it. It's fine. Oh my God, can we just double these guys up? Steelers and Ravens
out.
Completely out of both.
I don't care who wins that division. They both suck. I don't care who wins that division.
I'm out on both.
Yeah,
I'm done. I already know Scoop's answer. So let's
just by you saying that, I know who you're gonna say.
Yeah, Buffalo. I'm also out. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out.
I'm out.
I'm out faster than any of the Sharks ever were.
You're not just out. You're outer space.
Yes. The again, it's kind of sucks doing the Monday teams because we don't know what's going to happen. But I feel comfortable about both of these Monday teams. The Chargers and the Eagles, I am both out.
Yeah, I'm still out just because I don't trust. Like, we are literally, and this is how bad this offense is, and people don't like. Listen, I understand that the talent is great and the talent can overcome bad stretches and whatnot, and the defense is still good, but the biggest problem for me that I can't get it out of my head is you have a worse offense right now, worse success rate on plays and things like that off you. You're 28th in the league right now. You know who that's worse than? The New York Jets. So that right there keeps me from being in still. Like, the 2 losses and the start of a quote unquote collapse was already concerning to me. But the only way I could ever be back in on Philly at this point is if you just show me something offensively the next 2 or 3 weeks. Show me something. Because
also, I have to update. I apologize. I changed one of my other answers after further evaluation.
All right, what did you change?
I'm out on Jacksonville.
Fine, totally
that's
fine.
fair. That's fair.
That's fine.
I gave another once over. I gave another once over to their season. They played disorientingly bad against the teams that they're actually likely to face in the playoffs.
Which is fair.
Yeah, that's fair. Scoop, I assume you're in on Philly still, but not comfortably in, I imagine.
Nothing's comfortable with the Eagles.
Yeah, damn right.
We were up 40-6 in the fucking Super Bowl, and I wasn't comfortable.
That was the one strange enough. That was the one time I was. That was the one game I was celebrating at halftime because I knew we destroyed them.
I had my friends patting me on the back and sending me texts and making phone calls to me. I said, I don't want to hear a damn thing from anybody until the clock is being drained in the final play.
I was like that for in the second half for that Seahawks Bucks or Broncos game. So I feel it.
Yeah. But sorry, somebody asked me. Oh, you asked me about Philly. So if this was a buy, sell, or hold, I'd be holding right now.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But because I want to give an answer one way or the other, I am leaning in one direction. I am still in on this team. I'm still in on this team. That being said, a poor showing tomorrow for me in LA could flip me very quickly.
Yeah, completely fair. The Chargers were all out, right? I mean, I'm done. Yeah.
We've gone through about a quarter of the league, a little over a quarter of the league. There's so far only one team we're still all in on.
Makes sense. Yeah. And who is that? That's Houston.
That's crazy. That's Houston with the bad offense.
Wait. Is everyone in on the Rams?
No, the Rams. Yeah, the Rams too. Yeah,
the Rams. Yeah,
that's 2.
My apologies. They were hiding at the bottom here.
No, it's fine. So, fuck. Right now, our Super Bowl's Houston and the Rams.
Oh.
That could be a fire Super Bowl though. Houston's defense against that Rams offense.
Yeah.
I do not want to see CJ Stroud quarterback. That CJ Stroud. Don't want it. You know who else doesn't want it? NBC.
And you know what is too? If Houston can't adjust to the blitz against average defensive lines, look at the defensive line of the Rams. Oh Lord.
This sucks. I feel bad because I put this team as a Super Bowl winner, like in week 7. I feel awful.
I think I know who you're gonna say.
Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah,
I'm not only saying out. I'm saying goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
This is the Seminoles from 2 years ago. With the quarterback that they have playing, they're a different team than they were with Daniel Jones.
And bro, they could bring in Ryan Tannehill. They can bring out whoever they want off the street.
It doesn't matter.
Change this team.
And you know why? Because even a competent backup, even one that's ready to go, what the hard part about it is, even if you have a competent backup ready to go, like if you had somebody like let's say a Tyrod Taylor, if you had somebody like that can come in. But I'm saying but been around the block, at least knows something. Like if your only options right now are bringing in Tannehill off the street, who's basically retired, or Riley Leonard, who's just not an NFL.
He's a rookie.
Yeah, it was a rookie, but just had is not. We just from what we've seen over the years of him playing football in college, like it doesn't seem like that's it. Like, and here's the thing too, their passing offense already didn't scare anybody. It was the run game. So now you have a backup that is not, we don't. Well, we not only do we not know what he is, but we just don't.
I think I like their passing offense more than some people did, but
that's fine.
I see where you're coming from.
But when that offense is heavily predicated on that run game. Now here's the thing too, Jonathan Taylor last 3 games I think it's like under 80 yards. It's definitely under 100. So this is what I've said all year. If you contain Jonathan Taylor, because the last 3 games I believe he's averaging 3.5 or 3.8, 4.0, and 3.5 today. So if this is going to continue this way, they can't even. They're not even going to win a playoff game like that.
Yeah,
so,
I'm not saying out. I'm saying goodbye. I'm not even saying out. I'm saying goodbye.
Yeah.
As I mentioned last week, and Brandon has repeated, and Scoop, I imagine you've repeated this as well in your own time and on the show. Medical malpractice for Daniel Jones to play on a fucking fibula.
Yes.
Absolutely idiotic beyond absolutely any belief.
That's right up there with the decision to put Jaden Daniels back into the game.
I was just going to say that. Yep.
Yeah. I think it's worse. And Daniels hurt that arm again. He'll be back next week. He's fine. Thank God. But it's he couldn't move, guys. Of course he was going to tear something in the other leg. He couldn't move.
Part of what makes him the quarterback that he was able to be at times this year was his ability to move. Of course, if you put him on a wooden leg, of course the guy is going to be drastically limited. So now you've got Jonathan Taylor that's getting shut down and no movement from your quarterback.
Yep.
That's a defensive field day.
And I will say, this is something that you learn with cerebral palsy. You learn in physical therapy when you hurt your leg. I'm just going to say this because it's facts, and I've learned this over the years. Oh, not only over the years. I really learned this last couple of weeks, just kind of learning more about it from therapists, like my cerebral palsy, because my right leg is shorter than my left leg, and my right leg is full of so much tone that I can move it in these really weird places. Like I could literally, this is going to sound weird. For any other person, if I do a weird jerk, with my right leg, kind of push it outward or whatever, it does nothing. It hurts for a minute and it's fine. I could basically, quote unquote, dislocate my right leg and nothing will happen. It'll be fine. It won't even hurt. I'm being serious. It's that weird. But that being said, if you have a weak leg, the leg the leg that puts more pressure on, that has more susceptible to get hurt, is the stronger one. And guess what happened to Daniel Jones? The stronger one got hurt. There you go. But yeah, I could basically dislocate, not exactly, but I can basically dislocate my right leg and it'd be fine. It would literally just pop back into place. It's really stupid. It's so weird. That's not exactly true, but that's just the best.
But some people have that with their shoulder where it just pops out, they pop it back in.
Yeah. But yeah, so no wonder Daniel Jones got hurt. Goodbye, Indianapolis Colts. I feel so sad about that. Oh my God. Any teams that we missed in the AFC, Scoop, that we need to discuss?
The AFC on my end is all completed.
Yeah, we did Patriots, Bills, Patriots, Bills, Steelers, Ravens, Jags, Texans, Colts, Broncos, and Chargers.
And we eliminated the Chiefs before the show because we were done. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have 7 teams left on my list that we haven't discussed in the NFC.
Yeah,
I have a little more than, I don't know if it's anyway. Green Bay Packers. I'm gonna say what I said 2 weeks ago. I am in until December 28th, and then I'm out.
Is it the end of Toyota?
It's the end of Toyota.
Yes. I am in for the next 3 weeks, and then I am out.
I'm just out now just because, listen, even though the record looks good, man, and all these different things, and they're second in the NFC now, but the thing is, things change so fast. Honestly, we've literally seen this in the last like 4 weeks, where like the NFC has had 4 different number 1 seeds and 2 seeds and 3 seeds, and they've all flip flopped like crazy. So like, nothing is obviously set in stone yet. So it looks good right now for today, but they could change drastically next week. So with the Packers, one of the reasons I'm out is it's going to be really hard in the playoffs to only rely. Pretty much your only good receiving option at this point is Christian Watson. Tucker Kraft is done for the year. Josh Jacobs, I mean, he's still scoring touchdowns, but a lot of it's short yardage. He's not ripping off long touchdowns. He's not a home run hitter.
Him and Emmanuel Wilson are one of the most underrated 1-2 punches in the league.
They're
fantastic.
good. It's just that with Josh Jacobs, it's like if he gets shut down, which he has been this year, if he gets shut down in the playoff game, I don't think they can go anywhere. Like that's my biggest issue is that their running game is like they're running past like this whole team in general. If there's one word I can use to describe the Packers more than I can with any other team, it's inconsistent. D-line, inconsistent. Secondary is worse than it. Secondary is terrible, but that secondary got torched in the third and fourth quarter by Caleb Williams, who can't throw a football. That's pretty bad for a guy that can barely complete 55% of his passes, or less than 60% on the year. That's really bad. And you're not only getting burnt by him, but it's like the secondary, game-winning interception, whatever. But everybody that watches that secondary every week knows how bad that secondary is. It's bad. It's like Rams bad. And the only thing the thing is, the Rams and Packers defense is almost one and the same. The Rams have a really good D-line. So do the Packers. The problem is every week the Rams D-line shows up. The Packers don't on their D-line.
And they have a way better D-line on paper. I'll be honest, they do.
It should be, right? But like when you look at it, like both teams' strengths on defense, or both teams' strengths on defense is the D-line. Packers are just more inconsistent. But then their whole offense isn't. Sometimes I'm looking at the Packers offense, I'm like, wow, they can score at will, and then all of a sudden it's like they shut down. The play calling gets to be crap. Matt LaFleur has no idea what the hell he's doing, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? How do you go from like putting up like 2 straight touchdown drives to then not scoring for like 2 quarters? Or they start slow like they did today, and they don't really pick it up at all throughout the game, kind of coast through, and they just kind of let the Bears make mistakes at the very end to win it. Like it's like I have yet to see a game from the Packers this year where from start to finish they actually play this is the problem we have with some other teams, but play a full 60 minutes. They haven't done it all year.
This is the time to do it. It's Toyotathon, and they won't do it ever again.
And they won't do it. Like, is Jordan Love playing good football right now? Yes, but Toyotathon Jordan Love is a real thing because it's been what 3 years of this, and it's every Toyotathon now. So like it's not even a myth anymore. It's an actual thing, and so between the inconsistency with the play calling, Josh Jacobs getting kind of shut down this year because people don't want to look at it, but he's actually having a worse season right now than Saquon Barkley, and then or at least on par with these guys were both in the top 3 rushing last year, or top 5 at least. So Josh Jacobs being inconsistent, the offense as a whole being inconsistent, and not having Tucker Kraft. If Tucker Kraft was here, I would still be in on them. He's probably the biggest reason because he was, up until he got hurt, he was their receiving offense. He was quite literally the bulk of their receiving game. So not having him there and having to rely on Christian Watson, who to me is mid. Like I look at Christian Watson, I'm like, yeah, he has games where he has like 2 touchdowns, 2 or 3 touchdowns, but it's on 50 yards. It's on 50 yards receiving. So he's basically just catching three passes for 50 yards and 3 touchdowns, which is good in terms of what's the word I'm looking for? Help me out. What's the word I'm looking for?
Where are you going here?
Like when you have 3, like when you do like a Randy Moss stat line and you have 3 catches but it's 3 touchdowns, like efficiency. That's it, efficiency. Yeah. So I don't know why I couldn't get that out, but
you're fine.
he's an efficient wide receiver. He's not, but there's a difference between efficient and good. He's not good. He's just efficient. So like, it's if you can stop him from getting those couple catches in a game, he's not doing anything. He's just not gonna. So like, I'm not sold on him. I don't like their receiving core. Most of them still can't catch. And that defense is just inconsistent. And especially that D line. So I'm out. And I don't like to be out on a team that's got this many wins. That's 9-3-1, 9-4, whatever. Like the other 9-win teams that we have stuff to talk about. I'm in on them, but this is the one 9-win team where I'm like, I'm out. I
don't tell me you're in on Chicago.
Well, Chicago. The only reason I think I would still say I'm in is because Ben Johnson's a better offensive mind than Matt LaFleur, and their run game is unstoppable right now.
Okay, that's fair.
So that's the only reason. Like, there's two things that especially when it comes to playoff time. So I'll lump them in because it's the NFC North. I'll lump them in. We'll get to the Lions after that too. So we might as well just go through the whole NFC North at this point. But with the Bears. A good, like, even if you don't have a pass game, like everybody kept saying last year, and like, like with a lot of teams that, this team can't throw the ball, but they can run really, really well, and their defense is good enough. Now the Bears defense is not great, but I think they're okay enough. But Ben Johnson is a stellar coach that knows how to get the most out of the weapons around him. The only problem is Caleb Williams can't throw a football. So it's like you have because I looked this up. The Bears defense. Well, I shouldn't say Bears defense is good enough because technically they're the eye test says that they're good enough, but statistically they're not. Statistically, the Bears defense is the 6th worst overall in the NFL. Number 6, 6th worst. So was that 26? Their rushing offense, I believe, is 2nd or 3rd. I think it's 2nd, but their passing offense is 15th. But honestly, that's skewed because a lot of Caleb Williams is like, when he does complete a pass, which is hardly ever, it's all for big plays, chunk yards. So it's really kind of worse than that. It's in the back half. It's below average. So, but that run game is so damn good. And they almost won that damn game today because they chewed up like 9 minutes on the ground on one drive. It was like that 17-play drive going into the 4th quarter where they chewed up like 9 minutes of clock. I haven't seen that. Like I said, there's only one team, and we all know the team that it is. There's only one team historically that has done that well over the last 3-4 years, and we know who it is. But it's so the Bears' run game can still keep them in it. Nothing. I don't think, and their head coach is very smart. And Ben Johnson's got them overachieving right now. That's the only reason why I'm still kind of in is because Ben Johnson's brilliant. Yeah. So
I'll hold you there, and I'll go to Scoop on the Packers and the Bears before we get to the Lions.
Wait, Rob, were you in or out on the Bears?
I am 100%, 1,000,000% out. I'm done.
I'm just gonna say very soft in, like 51% in. Like so.
I am out like Donkey Kong. They cannot win a playoff game with this quarterback.
I've said that before too. Yep.
So I'm out.
I'm out on the Bears, and I don't need to say why because everybody knows. The Packers is interesting because I originally thought I'd be in on them, but here's the thing that really alarms me, and I actually don't think it was mentioned in the discussions by the hesitations that y'all have. I don't like their offensive line at all, except for Tom.
I agree with that. I agree. Yeah.
And here's the problem I have with that. I don't like their pass blocking or their run blocking. So unless they draw favorably and they go up with a team that has a weak rush and pass defense, or at least one of the weaker rush and pass defenses, like San Francisco or Chicago or Carolina, unless they go up against one of those teams, even if there's a vacancy on one of them, the team can just force them to the other side and then they're forced to play one-dimensional offense. So I don't like them because, and also in particular with the games that they're going to be played in January, Lambeau or not, that's you need to have the trenches in that type of weather because you're going to be playing likely in at least one cold weather city, whether that's your own or not.
If
So
you can't do it in your own, how are you going to do it the rest of the time?
That's why I'm still saying a soft in on the Bears, because you have to be able to run the ball in cold weather, and the Bears are doing it better than anyone right now, more or less. So in these last few, especially these last few weeks. So
yeah, that's that combination of that and Ben Johnson is almost enough to keep me in.
that's the only reason. Because listen,
Well,
I'm
well,
with you guys.
Shane
it's-
is still surprised we're live, dude. We've been talking about
Everything.
college football for like
It's
30 minutes.
it's been football, just straight up football talk forever.
But the last, I mean, this is after hours football, but
Yes.
but was just with the Bears. The last time I remember a quarterback just being completely taken out of the game entirely and everything just being completely run game dominant was Raheem Mostert like 6 years ago for San Francisco. Your quarterback's going to have to play a pivotal part at some point.
Yeah.
And I don't trust Caleb Williams to do that, which is the
Yeah.
reason why I'm out.
All right, Scoop, I'll have you continue with Detroit so we can finish up this division.
All right. So Detroit, I've never really been out on Detroit. I've wavered at times. I still see them as one of the more complete teams in the NFC. I still think that while I want to see more from their pass blocking, I still think that they look like one of the most formidable teams in the National Football Conference. And I don't see them as having anything super easy to expose in a manner where I can just see an absolute fatal flaw by them. I think that let me try that again. I think Dan Campbell's sometimes his over aggressiveness can make people wary of them. But going into the playoffs, give me a coach that plays to win rather than one that plays not to lose. So I'm staying in on Detroit.
I love this offense. It's freaky how much I love watching this offense. I don't really love the rest of the team though. I'll be honest.
That's what I'm saying.
But I think this offense is just so nasty. It's tough. So I'm gonna be in because I can't deny how it's so weird. But yeah, Dan Campbell's play calling has not been great. The decisions have not been great. But damn, they're still really good offensively. It's kind of freaky. And for that reason, I'm in. Brandon, Detroit.
So I've said it for the last 2 years, and I'm still going to say it. And now it's a soft in just because of how the league is and how the NFC is in general. It's still a soft in. But the reason why I'm not in and the reason why it's a soft in, well, 2 reasons. Losing Laporta is massive. And
even their backup tight end is hurt, too.
Yeah.
They're running on third string at the moment.
Yeah. And it's not just that. Everything else I think is still fine offensively, but it's really just when you lose one of your biggest offensive weapons, it's going to knock that offense down a peg. But I can't get it out of my mind of just Dan Campbell being an over-aggressive idiot. And my biggest issue is still that defense. They're 21st overall in pass defense, and they've given up the second. They're tied for second, I believe, if I'm looking at the numbers correctly. They're tied for second, I believe. I think is it a two-way tie? It's a two-way tie for second with the Bengals for touchdowns given up this season through the air, pass touchdowns. So and of course the only other team that's in front of those two teams is the Cowboys. So the Lions pass defense is just as bad as the Bengals and the Cowboys, who are the two worst defenses in the NFL this season. So that right there is why I can't be in on Detroit. You just and I said it the last 2 years, and it's been right so far the last 2 years. I mean, listen, it could change this year. If it's wrong, then it's wrong. But the last 2 years, you cannot win football games scoring 40 and giving up 40. You can't, and it's not going to happen in the playoffs. It's just not. So if it does, I'd be shocked. And if it's any year, it could be this year because of all the different crazy things we've had happen this year. But that pass defense is really, really bad. And the thing is, their run defense is okay. It's in the top half, but it's 11th. It's not even top 10. It's 11th right now. So it's, that rush defense, I mean, it's just is okay. But their pass defense is it's so bad that I'm just like, I can't get that out of my head. So with that and Dan Campbell being Dan Campbell, it's just like the Bears, it's a very soft in for me. I'm in, but it's not by much.
All right, let's get this out of the way. The Carolina Panthers.
Out. I mean, listen, the great year for them, exceed expectations, but out. Like that, to me, it doesn't matter who wins that division. I'm out on them and the Bucks. I'm just out. I can't do it. I'm out.
I was thinking about Tampa. I'm out on both teams in that division as well. Scoop.
Excuse me, sorry. Respect to Carolina, but I think anybody who faces them is going to just completely put up 40 on them. And they are. You know how like collegiate different tournaments have like the first 4 in and the last 4 out.
Yeah.
Carolina is kind of one of the last 4 out for me.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, that's what they are. They're the second out right now. It's literally what they are.
Yeah, like I think that they are deserving of a lot more respect than we thought going into next season, especially if they can get some of that defense right.
Yeah.
I think that this is the closest people have been to believing that Bryce Young could be a legitimate quarterback in the NFL with the right support and the right coaching. But, I say all that to say they are easily, of the 9 teams on this list, they're easily the weakest. And I have to be out on them, unfortunately.
All right, Tampa Bay, Scoop.
So wait, hang on. You both, we're all out on Carolina, right?
All out, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Bucks.
They're kind of a waste to even talk about, but they're here. So with Carolina, but all right, go on Tampa.
Yeah. So Tampa. This one's a little more difficult because I do also think they're one of the weakest teams still left. But here's the thing. They've been so damn injured that, and I don't know how healthy they'll be going into the playoffs.
I don't think they're going to be very healthy at all. I'm very concerned about that.
Yeah. So, it's like, again, 3 things are keeping me believing in them. Coach Bowles, Baker Mayfield, and that's a really, really good pass rush and run defense combination. So with those things in mind, I'm going to be a slight in, but it's not even 41. I mean, it's not even 51-49. It's like 50.1, 49.9.
Funny enough, they are 71% chance to make the playoffs, so a little bit above that right now.
That's only because they're division. That's why.
Yeah.
But then here's the scary thing. You want to know what they are in total defense this year? What rank they are?
Like 29th.
They are 29th. They're bottom 5.
Yeah.
That's the biggest reason I'm out, because you have a defensive head coach and the defense sucks. So
and just to clarify what I said about the parts of the defense that I like, a lot of that is because they can't cover worth a damn. And because they and because they've had issues with tackling at times. So by saying I'm slightly in, I'm basically banking on them being able to stuff the
Pass rush.
run and
Yeah.
being able to get to the quarterback before they're able to make anything happen downfield.
Yeah.
Before we move on to the NFC West, what are your positives and concerns with Coach Bowles and Baker Mayfield right now, Scoop?
My concerns with Baker are just so for a while, one of the things that people, myself included, criticized him for was that he tried sometimes to do too much. My concern with him now is that he at times is forced to do too much.
Mm-hmm.
And so my concern is that he'll be in situations where he thinks he has to do more than he has to, and he'll overplay that. So that's my concern is can there be a good balance of him doing, like, rising to the occasion and putting the situation on his back, but also knowing where to reel that into at the same time. I think that that's going to be a pivotal balance for him to be able to walk in order for them to be able to, navigate.
Yeah, as for Coach Bowles, is it kind of similar to what
Oh,
you said?
sorry. Yeah, I forgot that was a two-part question.
You're fine.
Excuse me. Pardon. Again, I find Coach Bowles to be somewhat of an underrated coach. I don't think he's a great coach by any stretch of the imagination, but I think that he is a very good coach, and I think that he, you know, but I think the problem with defensive head coaches is they tend to prefer to pound the rock, and this run blocking is not going to allow for that. So he's going to have to be comfortable calling a more aggressive game. But again, Baker's going to also have to know what's aggressive enough. So I think all those things lining up is what's going to be, whether or not those things can all line up, I think is going to be what tells the difference here. I think there's a path here where they can win playoff games, but I think that they have to nail it, basically.
Yeah. Seattle and San Francisco. Oh my God. Seattle, what do I do with you every week? I'm so tired of Seattle. I really am. What was that first quarter of football against Atlanta today? I get it's Atlanta, but what was that? Just nothing? I get it, it's Atlanta, but come on, guys.
Defense and special teams won that game for you.
Yeah.
Offense did nothing.
I will be in if they can beat the Rams on Thursday night. I'm growing less and less confident of that in the next 2 weeks. I really do want to be in on Seattle because I do like a lot of different parts of their team. I'm out. I'm out on Seattle. I'm still going to be out. I struggle. I will be back in if they can do something against LA. And then for the Niners, I talked about this with Brandon earlier. I hate to say it because he's on my fantasy team. I'm weirdly expecting a Christian McCaffrey injury to take me out. It's like the one guy that hasn't been injured all year.
I just feel like he's escaped it for too long, right?
Yeah, they're pumping him way too much. I'd love it as a fantasy guy. I'm glad they have a bye week to help out with that, but they're pumping him way too much. I think something's just bound to happen, unfortunately. I don't like to say that, but I think something's bound to happen, unfortunately. Scoop, where are you with Seattle and San Francisco?
San Francisco, I'm out for actually very similar reasons to you. Because I think that, but I also, this defense, I just don't trust. Like their special teams, special teams has been great, but I look at this at what they've had defensively, and the guys that they've been like really running out consistently. Other than Jair Brown, if I'm even saying that correctly,
yeah, that's correct.
I don't like any of their main defenders. Mustafa, Pinnock, Stout, Okuyanayu, Green, Winters, even Lenoir. I struggle with, their best defender this year has been Fred Warner, and he's been they're not even he's barely been top 15 on the team in defensive snaps. Like, it's just not something that I think with some of the high octane offenses that there are in the NFC. I just don't think that's a good match, so I'm out on them. I'm still in on Seattle. I think that I think that they're well coached. I think that, I didn't love how they started the game. But the last couple of weeks, and again, I know it's the Vikings and the Falcons, but they've won those two games. It combined 63-9. So
Yeah.
it's been, and even when they played the Rams, I mean, we said they completely played their worst offensively, and they only lost that game by 2. So, and I mean, and again, I said this earlier about, I forget which team, I think it might have been Denver, how they only lost their games combined by 4. The Seahawks have only lost their 3 games by 9. So when they're winning, a lot of times they're crushing teams, and when they're losing, it's coming down very close. But it's not just because their blowout wins have not just been against, quote unquote bad teams. They had an 8-point win against Houston. They played very well. Pardon me. They played very well against Washington, and that was when Washington was still not completely falling apart. So I think that I'm still in on them. I'm not as in on them as I am on some other teams, but I'm still in on Seattle for the time being. Just a clarification, Brandon, can you give me what you were on this? I'm sorry, can both of you give me what you were on the Bucks, please?
Out.
We both said out.
Okay, and then all I need left is the Seahawks and the Niners from Brandon.
Yep. All right, go ahead.
So, Seahawks. Well, either way, we're not going to all be unanimous on Seahawks because one of you said out, one of you said in.
Yep.
Seahawks.
You're still in on the Niners, Rob?
No, I'm out on San Francisco as well.
Yes. So we're both out on San Francisco then.
Yeah. So I'll start with Seattle. So I'll save San Fran for last. Seattle. It's a soft. It's just like with the Bears and the Lions. To me, and I'm not saying to compare those teams. I'm saying just it's the same kind of soft in that I gave for both those teams, just because that defense.
Can I quickly interrupt you?
Yeah.
A soft in at this stage of the season sounds awful. I'm be real.
It does. It definitely does. But it's like, because the thing is, it's like if I'm saying I'm out, it's because I don't find like really any redeeming qualities like across the board. But then it's like, if I'm a soft in, there's one thing that could save them and get them through like a few playoff games. Like for Seattle, the reason why it's a soft in is because that defense is number 6 in the NFL this year.
Good.
That Seattle defense can do everything. They force a ton of takeaways. They can actually score when their offense doesn't. That's what's crazy. Like they have a really good score.
That is what we learned today. Yeah.
So like it's really tough because when I look across the board, I mean, yeah, the Seahawks have the number 3 scoring defense in the NFL right now, total.
Oh, by the way, I will pause you on that really quick. Seattle fantasy points 30 last week, 19 this week.
Oh
next week, Riley Leonard in the Indianapolis Colts. If the Seahawks are not on a roster, add them immediately for next week.
Especially if you're in a playoff situation, put them on immediately.
Yeah, there's no reason for them to be on wires at all at this point. But if for some godforsaken reason they are, add them, please.
Yeah. There's a couple teams you can roll with when it comes to defense. That's like Denver, Seattle, like those kinds of teams.
Those are the 2 main ones I would think.
Yeah, but so yeah, with Seattle, because that defense is so good. That's the only reason I'm a soft in, because their running game's not special. Sam Darnold's on the sea ghost again. But here's the thing: JSN's great. JSN can make up for it, but your game plan can't be, hey, F it, JSN down there somewhere. Like, that's not going to get you very far.
I want to see more Shaheed. Why is he just a special teamer? He was supposed to come in here and be a wide receiver too that fits perfectly with this offense. He's non-existent.
I don't know why you guys are doing that. I mean, because you guys like his speed, and usually the speediest guy on your team is going to be mostly your special teams guy. So,
I mean, yeah, I love him on special teams, but he's supposed to come in here and be an easy wide receiver plug and play. He's not. It's really weird.
Yeah, I don't know what they're seeing, but that defense is what keeps me with a soft end. And the thing is, when Seattle was Super Bowl contenders for years, and when they were making playoff runs, that was the best part of their team. Was their defense. Was their defense being a top 3, top 5 defense every single year. So that's why it's a soft end, because just their identity of who they are, what they've built their franchise to be over the years, is defense heavy. They were never a great offensive team in any stretch of that franchise history. So, to get back to that DNA, because remember, when the Seahawks have been bad, they haven't had either one. When they've been good, it's mostly been the defense.
I mean, that's why Seattle not drafted. That's when they picked up Mike McDonald. That was the reasoning to get him as the new head coach, to keep that identity in a new era, to keep that identity the same.
So that's why it's a soft end. I like, at this point, I'm definitely fading on Sam Darnold. I don't like their run game. Their offensive line's not great. That's an understatement.
Awful.
It's an understatement. And so it's like, really the only two things I like about that team is JSN being an absolute monster. He'll get offensive. Honestly, to me, he's my offensive player of the year. And then, because Jonathan Taylor's fading real fast, and he's going to probably continue to fade fast. So it's the defense and it's the JSN keeping me as a soft end. But if that defense starts to falter a little bit, or put it this way, like you said, if you guys lose again to the Rams, then I'm out.
Yeah. And I will quickly say that Colts game this coming week was supposed to be a litmus test. Seattle got lucky because it's not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. So and especially because I think you guys are at home anyway.
I think so, yeah.
So you guys should smack them.
Yeah.
As you know, I like doing these, and like I'm kind of reading through things as we all talk. I apologize. I'm going to ask you to make one more change for me, please.
What change? What do you mean?
Like, I'm going to ask you to change one of my answers, please.
Yes. What answer are you changing?
Flip me to out for Seattle.
Okay, tell me why.
I don't like their offensive line play as the more that I look into it, and I don't trust.
It's terrible.
It's really bad.
Terrible.
It's really bad.
Yeah. And I was not looking, I think, closely enough at that at first, because
which is fair.
Because I really liked a lot of the other elements that I discussed, but I used that as a reason why I didn't like a couple other teams, and I can't in good faith not be consistent with that for Seattle.
Yeah. I'm glad you're logging this, because we're going to need them in a few weeks.
See when I'm saying soft in, I said, oh yeah, maybe 51, 52% for other teams I'm saying soft in for. I'm going to borrow a page from Scoop's book and be like, yeah, it's a soft in, but it's 50.1% on Seattle. Like, Seattle is
we will all be out across the board if they lose to the Rams, especially if it's significant.
I thought you were going to say the Colts.
Not the Colts.
Oh,
no,
it
should have been. It should have been. The Colts game should have been a lot more interesting. It's not even close to anymore.
So then the last team we get to,
San Francisco 49ers.
And guess what? It's unanimous, boys. I'm out.
I thought you. Oh my god! I thought you were going to be in. I thought you were debating it. Okay.
That's and you know what's crazy? That sounds like it should be a hard, like, one way or the other. Like, oh, it's hard to say yes and it's hard to say no. Like, it's kind of somewhere in the middle. Like, a soft yes. No, it's an out. And here's the biggest reason why. I understand that CMC is a dual threat running back. Here is a big problem. That rushing offense. Do you know where they rank in the NFL this year?
Like 12th?
Go way lower.
You're kidding. 20th.
They're 26th.
Holy crapola!
They're-
How are they
they're-
26th?
They are
They don't
26th.
look like they're 26th.
They're 26th, and on top of that, they are also one of the worst teams in terms of rushing TDs in the league. They're like somewhere back near 20th.
That's
So
crazy.
So they don't run the ball. I mean, listen, that part of that CMC being a dual threat, but here's the problem: you can't throw the ball over the yard and run check. And this is why I've said for years I don't like Brock Purdy because all he throws is check downs. Gee, when you have the 26th rushing offense, but your passing offense is really is good, and a lot of that is CMC check downs, which it has been in Brock Purdy's career, then this is why I'm out. I don't see anything from Brock Purdy that I like. And that's why I call him Captain Checkdown. That's what he is. And
I'm gonna make that into a shirt.
And I don't like once again when you
would hate my Madden
when you use
Hopefully
CMC
it's better in CFB.
Yeah, you would hope. When you
I
use
can't wait for that tomorrow night.
when you use CMC also as a bell cow, which they've been doing, good things don't happen. So, it's really bad that they can't even average, especially with somebody like CMC, who's a good running back. They can't even average over 100 yards a game rushing, and it's just that's a big. Because remember, Mac Jones won them a lot of games, but here's the problem: you can't go into the playoffs throwing the ball 40, 50 times. It has to be balanced, or lean on one maybe a little bit more, like 60, 40 in terms of the percentage split. But you can't be like 80%, 90% pass and no run. It can't happen. You can't win a game throwing the ball 50 times. It's not going to happen. And right now, I can't look at Brock Purdy just throwing checkdowns to CMC and things like that. Even Mac Jones, like, what have I said all year? Every quarterback, almost every game, and almost every quarterback that's had more passing attempts than the other has lost this year. And so if your rushing offense is going to be that bad statistically, while your passing offense is going to be, where it is. Yeah, go ahead.
I will say the one thing I don't like about using the passing attempts that way is because typically teams that are losing a game do have to be throwing more to try and come back. So I think that's a little bit misleading.
I get it.
It definitely can be.
Although I definitely, but there's also a lot of times too where you'll see a team that, passes a lot early. Like kind of look at what look at what Chicago did early today. They threw a lot early. They got behind early. Like, to me, it's like, you can win games, because a shootout is like the exception, or if you get behind, you have to. But the thing is, too, is like a lot of times you get behind because your rushing attack can't get going, and then you have to throw more. So it's like if their rushing attack is going to be 26th and not get going, and they're going to have to throw more, and they come playoff time, it's just not going to work. Like and I look at it this way too. You can also have a game where it's like, Jared Goff, there's games where the Lions will get into like a shootout where both teams will score 30, 40 points. But then Goff will win it. Like it'll be a close contested game by a few points. But Goff will win it while the other guy is not behind by a lot, but the other quarterback will throw like 10 times, 12 times more than he did, but it's because the Lions have a more balanced offense. So like it's there's that side of it too. I get and the thing is you're right too, Scoop. But I kind of look at it from the other way too. Is like nothing is the end all be all. Nothing that we talk about is the end all be all. But
not this season.
But the thing is like it's too much that worries me. And I think defensively, I'm gonna look at their defensive stuff because we've talked about their defense being bad all year, but I actually want to look at it and see it for myself. But guess where their pass defense is? Actually, guess where their total defense is, and guess where their pass defense is.
I'll go like 16th and 20th.
For pass and total.
Yeah, respectively.
Total is 20th.
Oh, Jesus.
Pass defense, they are 25th.
Oh, Jesus.
And you want to know who's worse than them? it's all teams that either aren't making the playoffs or on the fringe, just like they are. Ravens, Colts, Steelers, Buccaneers, Commanders, Cowboys, and Bengals. So, when your pass defense is 25th, and that's a lot of that's injuries, but this is also what I'm saying. The injuries play a factor, and the thing is, I don't think they're going to get healthy. They have so many season-ending injuries, they can't get healthy going into the playoffs. They just can't. So, and it's really, really tough. I mean, their rush defense is okay. It's 12th. But that pass defense being where it is, and the total defense being 20th, anything that starts with a 2, anything that starts getting towards that back half and that starts getting towards that bottom 10, I really, really get scared of. Because that's also telling me too that they're getting into a lot of shootouts, a lot of kind of higher scoring games. So it's just because that defense is not. It's just not up to par. And the crazy thing is it's Robert Saleh, who's a good defensive coach. And that defense, even with some of the backups in there, they can't get it going. That's kind of alarming. That rings the alarm bell in my head. So I'm just out because I've already had my problems with Shanahan. And that's another problem too. Shanahan still hasn't proven that he can make adjustments when needed. He is still one of the worst coaches at making adjustments. We've seen this for the last 2 or 3 years. That he just can't do it when it's needed. So between the lack of adjustments, riding CMC, to the bone, their rush offense not being great, their defense not being great, especially the pass defense. It really, really, and their rush defense is nothing to write home about. It's almost near the middle of the league. It's in the top half, but it's almost near the middle. So there's nothing to like here. As much as that record looks good, as much as they're still winning games, there's nothing to there's nothing you can look at and be like, I love that about this team. It's just CMC and nothing else.
Yeah.
So that's basically it. That's why I'm out.
Scoop, who are we fully in on? What are our teams here?
We have 3 fully in, which is actually a low key more than I expected. But it is
that's a really bad thought for the NFL right now. That it's only 3, and we expected less.
But it's the Lions, the Rams, and the Texans.
God,
That's not that bad.
The Texans being in there freaks me out. I don't think the Texans are a Super Bowl contender. I really don't. But
it's now I'll say this: we may be, we talk about the eye test, right? Now maybe this changes because maybe some of that is a reflection of us just having watched what we just saw tonight.
I think so. Yeah.
But I mean, they I'm looking at them I'm going back and looking over it now. I mean, they're 7-5, but I mean, have they played a bad game since week 3? Even their 2 losses, I don't think they played particularly poorly against Seattle against Seattle or Denver.
Yeah,
and
I think it's fair.
They've beaten Buffalo, Jacksonville, Kansas City, Baltimore, San Francisco, and so they've beaten teams that, at least at the time, people were mostly in on. I think we would probably, if we ranked the 3 of those teams, my guess is that we would probably end up ranking Houston 3rd of those 3.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you said, if you asked me, are Los Angeles, Detroit, and Houston the 3 best teams in the NFL right now? I don't think that there's a huge hot take in saying yes.
Yeah. All right. Last thing before we go, I forgot to talk about this in the college football section. What kick was worse, the Blair Walsh kick, with Seahawks Vikings, or that Ohio State missed field goal at the end, or pretty much at the end last night?
Can you give me a moment to check it out, because I actually haven't seen it?
Yeah, pull it up.
You're gonna cringe.
Pull up the Ohio State kick.
Hang on. Is this the one where the guy's foot doesn't even touch the ball?
No, we're not talking about Younghoe Koo. We're talking about the Ohio State kick yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I think it's worse, Brandon. I really do.
Here, I'm looking.
It's
Hang on.
so bad.
It's worse to me
Just yeah.
Misses
it's
the
like-
kick for the champ.
because you know
Kick
why.
for the champ.
Yeah, for the championship. Yeah.
Because you know why. At least Blair Walsh missed to the same side he was kicking on. The Ohio State kicker pulled it across the goalpost all the way from the right hash. Like, it's really bad. And the thing is, guess what? Elements. Blair Walsh did it outside. The Ohio State kicker
in the
was
snow. In the snow, by
Yeah.
the way. Yeah.
So
yeah, I think the Ohio State kick is much worse.
Yeah, I just watched it. Basically, I just watched a mirror image of Scott Norwood.
Damn. But tell me, Scoop, it's worse than the Blair Walsh kick, Vikings Seahawks. It's worse.
I barely remember the Blair Walsh kick, but from what I do remember, I would agree with you.
Yeah. And also, last thing. Red Zone, get your damn act together. I was watching football in silence for 5 minutes this morning because all you heard was bah! For 5 minutes. What the hell?
Straight,
it was like
straight static.
straight. Yeah. I apologize for the audio listeners, but I gotta play this because it's genuinely funny.
Oh
but
god,
it pissed me the hell off. It made me lose my mind. It was like, because I literally thought, oh my god, is there something wrong? Like, is there something wrong with my TV? What the hell's going on? Also, do you guys want to talk about the Eagles bunny at all, or do you want to say that for tomorrow?
No,
what's with that bunny?
It's tomorrow because either I'm going to praise the bunny tomorrow or I'm going to want to rip its head off. So,
bite its head off like a chocolate bunny on Easter.
Oh my god. Is it not here? Oh, I don't have the static. Oh, crap. Wait, no. It's got to be here somewhere. Come on. Yep. Yeah. Oh my god. I apologize for the audio listeners. I got to turn it up a little bit more. So, quick update from the Colts, and then BAM! Quick update from the Colts. Bruh! We pay money for this shit. This is unacceptable. No more commercials. No more static. Stop holding Scott Hansen hostage. Bring me back my program. Please.
We want 7 hours of commercial-free football.
Please.
Your voice just cracked so aggressively.
Oh, did it crack worse than the BAH I heard for 5 minutes? I don't think so. Watching football in silence is torture. I had to do it for 5 minutes. God damn it. Stupid. Red Zone, get your damn act together. All right, that's all I got. It was so awful. Quick update from the Colts. Bah! For 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I mean that's basically the sound of the cold season crashing and burning.
Pretty much. All right. Well, we'll see how the Eagles bunny survives tomorrow. For Scoop, for Brandon, for myself. Safe travels, Scoop, back home from Vegas tomorrow.
Thank you.
And,
I look forward to being on tomorrow night. I probably will have been home for about a half hour when I log on tomorrow, which is about how long I was at home before when I got logged on after I returned from Cleveland on Monday.
Well, you're either gonna log on being happy, or you're gonna want to punch the bunny in the face.
Oh, I can't. Part of me wants the rage. I mean, listen, we don't want to lose. Part of me wants the rage version of Scoop running off of like no sleep and a half hour to get online. Oh my god.
We may have to make this show like NC-17 tomorrow if I end up
put
in
the
that situation.
explicit content on. All right. Well, peace out, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Take care, everybody.
Good night.